are here for the new Intervallo. Let's see what it's up to. Spring Cultivation. Okay. I don't have any of those guys. Henny Sinclair. Okay. The family hierarchy proof. The hall was chill with a tense air, and those present all sat in complete silence. Then there was Jia Yuan-chun, with her lips slightly curled into a mirthless sneer. And at the center of it all sat Jia Shi-chun, unsure of what to say next. Well, everyone. Jia Yuan-chun, seated next to the hierarch seat, upon which Shi-chun sat, smoothly takes control of the situation and begins the assembly. Honored heads of the houses, lords of each family, their proxies, members, and... She nods oddly, acknowledging our awkward presence. And little Shi-chun's guests, I would check, who stay here at our H-Corp seems to be extending without a foreseeable end. Isn't she technically from Q-Corp? What's with her acting like she's any less of an outsider than we are? Yeah, and did everyone catch that? Our H-Corp? Regardless of everything else, the fact that she hijacked the meeting from the get-go is ridiculous, especially with Jia Shi-chun, the family hierarch herself, presiding over this official assembly. Clearly, she is using the pretense of assisting their hierarch to assert her own dominance over these proceedings. As we are all aware, venerable former Jiamu Mewing has always discussed with and confided in me about the matters of greatest import, the momentousness of which steered the very course of H-Corp's prospects. Even after I departed the family for Q-Corp, venerable former Jiamu has always written missives to confer such matters with me. Something about it smelled suspicious, but we'd already missed the window to challenge her to present us with proof without breaking decorum. Thus, as it naturally follows that I would be the inheritor of the venerable Jiramu's will, I shall be presiding over this regular assembly, which we convene now to discuss and determine the future of H-Corp. What a grandiose and self-important introduction. It seemed clear to me she considered herself to be the main character of this scene or something. Your grace certainly befits your station, Lady Yuan-chun.
We are all impressed by your utter dedication to the citizenry of Hangyuan despite your already saturated schedule.
We hardly thank you enough for your magnanimity, Lady Yuan-chun. My parents, a true shame they couldn't be here, have always sung praises of your expertise, Lady Yuan-chun. Responses from the participants are just as protracted, only obsequious instead of arrogant. As heads of some of those houses were under investigation for consorting with the forces foreign to Hangyuan. Their vacuum was filled by their children's generation, many of whom we had the pleasure of meeting during the family hierarch war. Very well, then, shall we? Welcome Jia Shi-chun, the next person to sit upon the seat of Hangyuan's family hierarch. Greetings, I am... Now, let us begin. For many years... Jesus, there's no respect. For many years, all those who have gathered here have toiled day and night for the eternal prosperity of H-Corp. Immediately sours. First on the agenda for this assembly are urgent discussions and passage of new major policy items, that which have been tabled for far too long. Distributive contribution rights and auctioning policy, quarterly amnesty policy. Hold on, big sister. I can't speak. Hold on, big sister Yuan-chun. Passing distributed contribution. Yap. Stutters a little flustered before continuing. My point is, these policies are going to rattle H-Corp's economy the moment they go into effect. Besides, these policies were pretty much drawn to favor lining the pockets of a select few families and high-ranking officials of H-Corp. If I may, venerable hierarch, lining the pockets. That's quite an odd turn of phrase to refer to the bare minimum of respect the society might repay to its highest contributing members, don't you think? Oh, before we continue, Shi-chan, I'm not entirely certain if you are aware, but ever since the ascension of the new family hierarch, the perceived value of Hong Yuan has been racing for the, lack of a better word, rock bottom. Clearly, this demonstrates Hong Yuan's concern and its lack of faith in the newly appointed family hierarch. Therefore, it naturally falls that our most urgent task at hand is to put a stop to this value and reputation free fall and restore prosperity and greatness to Hong Yuan once again. Yeah, okay, and that's the family hierarch's job, right? Why are you... If you had perused H-Corp's articles of association, you would have known that should H-Corp be deemed to be in a state of crisis, the four great houses and the board of directors' voice may also carry de facto power in the assembly. And the board of directors, that's us, has determined that we are now in a state of crisis. State of crisis? What crisis? Everything that led to my ascension to the family hierarch was legitimate, down to the final approval. These unseemly rumors and slanders are tanking our value, which we have built up assiduously over the years upon years of toil. So what is this if not a state of crisis? And who wouldn't doubt the new family hierarch's qualities when this decline has coincided precisely with her ascension? Jia Yuan-chun somehow turning the room against Shi-chun, without presenting a single shred of evidence, portraying her as some burdensome hierarch who is single-handedly tanking H-Corp's value. No one in the assembly, not a single representative from any families present, stepped up to point out how Jia Ji-chun's swift actions were what finally repelled the outside forces that had marched right up to Hong Yuan's front yard. Or how she deftly maneuvered her forces to quell the embers of war by quickly taking control of the chaos within the Guanyan. She hadn't shown any glaring signs of incompetence since her ascension, despite her relative inexperience, but... Everyone in Hong Yuan's board of directors, the heads of each family, averted their eyes as though all that had somehow, inconceivably, slipped their minds. So, you take yourself to be a qualified individual for that responsibility, Shi-chun. Very well, then proceed. We're all waiting for you to begin your briefing before the assembly regarding the last 30 years' quarterly net revenue records for Hong Yuan's singularity-related businesses, your calculations on next year's fiscal debt forecast, and the exact recipe and variation numbers for the boluses that have been registered in the last 5 years. The Venerable Hierarch has not received that data prior to the meeting. You must all be aware of the chaos that followed the ascension. We are still indexing all available materials. That isn't that funny. Not once in the history of Hong Yuan has the family hierarch ever failed to provide immediate and detailed answers regarding Hong Yuan's historical statistics. Jia Yuan-chun must have known all along too. She must have known how the previous family hierarchs were all directly supplied with an immense repository of information through the Xianhuang worm or something of the equivalent. Using it to target Shi-chun's weaknesses. The responsibilities tied to the venerable seat of hierarch Jiamu are only matched by the great power bestowed upon it. Thus, how are we able to leave the matters of the wing to someone who is so evidently unprepared for the task? Given the present circumstances, our hands may be forced to call to vote the motion of no confidence. The motion of no confidence? A motion of no confidence, when passed by the high-ranking political officials, can result in the removal of the chief executive from office. So they're going after Shi-chun's power. So this is the picture Jia Yuan-chun wanted to paint. Impotent family hierarch stammering and stumbling through her first meeting to the total and near unanimous lack of support from the H-Corp board of directors. Whatever jargon they're on about seems to me like they've got an ounce of respect for the last or us. Never trust twats overly obsessed with numbers and optimizations. They'll be the first ones to kick you the moment they no longer see you as useful. You're not the only one who's pissed off, so can you please stop shaking your leg for a second? No need to make our frustration any more obvious, you know. My arse would have left the chair long ago if it weren't for this, lass. I don't even know who I'm trying to speak as. In H Corp, should the board of directors unanimously vote in favor of the motion, certain parts of the family hierarch's powers will be removed. It is entirely possible that she will become a hierarch in name only. Oh, so they're threatening to fire her unless she falls in line. This is some needlessly convoluted way to... The assembly will now consider the motion of no confidence. Are there any objections to bringing the motion of no confidence against family hierarch Jiaji Chun to the floor? Hold on, the vote of no confidence isn't an item you can invoke so lightly. No objections. The arrest of the previous family heads seems to change precisely nothing. Those in power were more youthful faces, but their tongues still carried the same old resistance to change. The new family heads were just as uncooperative as ever, and everyone seemed to be solely interested in staying in Jia Yuanchun's good graces. New faces, same old. And needless to say, Heathcliff wasn't the only sinner fuming with rage. It is far too vexing to simply watch and do not. Right, I knew you wouldn't let this slide, Don Quixote. You're walking all over Shi-chan like she's not even there. Forsooth, we cannot let such injustice transpire unabated. Say, seems like we're both on the same page. That's it. I'm not going to hesitate to make myself heard again. This time, I want to be courageous. With your help, Don Quixote. Come on, let's do this together, okay? Very well, I am in agreement. Yeah, then let's go on three, at the same time. There are no objections. 1, 2. The assembly will put this resolution to vote in a month, and 3. Here, objection! Bloody hell, oi, have you gone mental? Sinclair stood tall at the center of the room's undivided astonishment alone. Eh? Don Quixote, still firmly in her seat, gazed upon Sinclair's proud stand and rubbed her nose. Young Sinclair, thou hast evolved indeed. What an unmitigated pursuer of justice thou hast become, with such an unrelenting fervor and utter disregard for decorum. Certainly, my efforts have finally borne fruit. What the hell? Don Quixote, Heathcliff suddenly rub off on you or something? No, wait, no. What happened there? Don Quixote, we were going to have two objecting together. I had taken thy suggestion to mean that we must voice our dissatisfaction to the official channels borrowing the titles of the illustrious Red Gaze in the Department of LCC. Disputes and succession of power on such a high level of government are hardly ever resolved with rash grandstanding. Wouldst thou not agree? Why are you normal all of a sudden? What just happened? What happened to the clammy meek boy? Well, I guess I just assumed this is how Limbus Company rolls now. There seems to have been unexpected outbursts from Shi-chan's guests. Withdraw your objection, and we will consider this a momentary loss of control, and not enter it as an official statement. It was, If not, I take it that you have full confidence in her abilities. So please, I encourage you to elaborate. When and how will Shi-chan demonstrate her aptitude for the responsibilities of the family hierarch? His voice continues to shrivel into a corner. He can't, and how could anyone? When we all had a very clear view of her path to ascension? During the family hierarch evaluation, Jia Baoyu donated the coins he received from Jia Chu to you. Essentially, you pity-partied your way to victory. Pity-partied? And for your ascension, Jia Chu and those outsiders from an upstart company had to almost literally carry you to the seat. Has there ever been a single victory attained by her own hands in that entire process? But have we not all been witness to the qualities she exhibited during the family hierarch evaluation and her own ascension? You must have no shame, sticking your forked tongue in the audience of both heaven and earth like an unwitting buffoon. Yet, I see the point. The hierarch, with her grace, needs only demonstrate her already established qualifications before all. This is no place for an outsider to speak, but proceed. Just how will she prove herself before us? What an odd statement, coming from a fellow outsider who's been chattering for minutes on end. Forgive me, I could only presume from your verbosity that the right to speak in this forum was open to all outsiders. You said it yourself, no, that the vote on the no confidence resolution will proceed in a month. That seems to give the venerable hierarch a month to regain the trust of each family. What? It is rather clear to me that there are many who find their own defeat and the family hierarch were difficult to accept. Such a doubt is easily resolved. A master-trained clan should lay out the results quite obviously. Very well. A fair challenge between clans, which would preclude the participation of the family hierarch's Heisho pack and the Jialan guards. So, you would remove her Pao and Ju before the game even begins. Why not make this a test? This test a series of sparring matches in both academia and martial arts, if such is the case. What audacity! Do you truly have that much faith in Jia Chun's abilities? You must know the consequences of failing these matches, no? It would be a unanimous, one-sided end to the vote of no confidence, and naturally, any and all rights appertaining to the family hierarchy shall be transferred to the board of directors. That is fine by us. You are free to choose any champion whom you see fit. Unfortunately, your underlings don't seem to share your inflated confidence. But in the midst of the confused, flabbergasted silence from the other sinners, a clear, carefree, yet defiant voice rings out, Hong Lu's retort. That's not true at all, big sister Yuanchuan. I can't speak. We actually have just as much confidence in Xi Chun as he does. His wide eyes stared directly and unblinkingly into Jia Yuanchun's. It occurred to me that this might be his way of expressing anger. Impudent child, how dare he stare me down like that? Then, you are welcome to try. 1 month. You have but 1 month to prove before all in audience that she is, indeed, fit to be the family hierarch. Should you fail, the vote may as well be mere formality. In other words, should she successfully prove herself, none of you shall again rightly challenge the independent rights and powers bestowed upon the family hierarch. The consequence of such recalcitrance would be no difference from those that the traitors are facing, wouldn't you agree? Well then, we will excuse ourselves now. Wait, I'm... Li Gong turns toward us with the same mysterious smile and slowly directs us outside in the assembly hall. We may call them sparring matches, but you must know that each and every one of them is a test to prove your claim to the seat of the family hierarch. A month is a time far too brief for drastic improvement, regardless of for whom it may be. Learning from a proper master for 10 months straight might teach you a few things, but who knows how long the search for one master might take, not to mention the official channels which you must bring them to through Daguanyon's walls, which entail 2 months. It seems that this fellow outsider's mental faculties are impressively lacking. My lord has spoken in the past that, when in the presence of 3 people, at least one of them is bound to be a teacher of mine. And here they are, aren't they? Jiaji Chun's masters, each carrying something new to teach her. All 13 of them. We were planning to train Jiaji Chun anyways, but it seems that we are now under an unexpected deadline. Hey, when you said the LCB was going to help me out, did you guys mean that you were going to publicly humiliate the crap out of me at the assembly? Of course not, Xi-chun. Big sister Yuan Chun's an old snake! You've given her 30 days to set the perfect stage for my downfall, to prove to the world once and for all that I'm not qualified at all to be the family hierarch. Wait, Xi-chun, weren't you always so good at humbling anyone who dared to underestimate you? Not so much anymore. Back then, like an idiot, I thought I just had to hold on with everything I had. I thought that's all I ever had to do, but now... Now, things are different. It's true that I'm vastly underqualified to be family hierarch. And she's right, I pretty much lucked into this position. Xi-chun, don't tell me that woman's bullshit actually got to you. Well, she wasn't completely wrong, right? I'm just some kid who happened to be just good enough to survive some traps and ambushes. I'm afraid that the responsibility of the family hierarch might be too much. Her self-confidence has significantly decreased compared to the observation from our previous interaction. The heck, Xi-chun? I don't remember you being this kind of character. What happened to the girl who looked down on us the moment we met? You even had the audacity to pretend not to know who we are, didn't ya? Where'd all that confidence go, girl? That actually got under her skin back then, huh? So, Xi-chun, what do you want to do? Are you sure you're okay with this? Are you okay with letting this happen? If I let it happen, Sister Yuan Chun's going to continue expanding her influence here. I'm sure she and the board of directors have been cozying up to each other for a long time. Is the implication that her testaments on her influence were true? Yup, it's true. Before she left for Q Corp, Big Sister Yuan Chun used to always accompany Jiao Mu to these assemblies. If we just let them hold the votes of no confidence, they're going to unanimously vote against me and slowly reduce the family hierarch scope of power. Who knows, it might even call for a re-evaluation, however unlikely that sounds. Besides, Big Sister Yuan Chun, I think her definition of Hong Yuan's prosperity might be different from mine. What she's looking for is an H-Course prosperity, it's Daguan Yuan's. And I know that this all has something to do with its ties to Q Corp, which I bet it's already been going on for a while just under my radar. I'm sure they've already had enough talks behind my back. Which is not the kind of vision you have for Hong Yuan's future, right? That's why you spoke up against her. What Hong Yuan needs is... I want to change H Corp to be the kind of place where people can live without fear. I just never imagined I had to prove myself like this, and in only 30 days. Even then, your vision hasn't changed, right? It hasn't. Great. So it's decided then, huh? We just need Fao to deliver the bad news to Salad. So, to summarize, the responsibility of training Shichun to win these matches, these amorphous tests, upon which hinges the family hierarch's fate, and almost every facet of which is entirely under Jia Yuan-chan's control, by the way, and is properly a trap, within the next 30 days is ours. And we have to explain that to Salad. Wow, that sounds like a lot of work when you put it like that. Post-mortem reports have become quite rote. Prithee, thou must impress the illustrious Red Gaze that 'twasn't mine idea this time. Sinclair's. Yes, and I understand that as well, for the 8th time. As always, Salad was wearing the same flushingly incomprehensible smile. The kind of smile that makes people increasingly anxious the longer it lasts. Well, that gives us about 30 days, during which these sparring matches, tests, whatever, will be happening as well. Great, then let's give it our best. Yes, I understand. I never should have stepped out of line like that, but something just... Yeah, so let's give it our best. I totally agree, we messed up everything again, and what? Limbus Company was always going to remain here and insist Miss Jia Chen acclimatize herself to the responsibilities of the family hierarch. It was always a part of our plan. Well, I'm glad that I took Faust's advice about how meticulous planning is completely pointless when it comes to LCB's missions. I never would have had to submit 9 separate disciplinary incident reports back during the J-Corp incident had I known. I believe I should be able to explain this further. Prior to his departure, my lord was concerned that such a thing would come to pass. That is why he left Zilu and I here to look after the family hierarch position, which must still be on rather thin ice. Oh, so that's why they were privately talking about doing nothing and allowing her wicked machinations to progress would have irrevocably made the entire board of directors not but putty in Yuan Chen's hands. And that would have led to that snake to de facto assume the next seat of against such insidious foe who wield intrigue as their weapon. The most viable strategy is the most direct one, to challenge her head on. Besides, has this not given you the excuse you needed to prolong your company's stay in Daguan Yuan? This is also a prime opportunity for Jia Chen to further solidify her influence here, depending on this outcome of the vote of no confidence. They have played right into our hands by accepting this deal. So, I don't want to rain on everyone's parade, but we're not even going to consider what might happen if we fail. No, we are not, because you will not fail, not with us aiding your efforts. Also, were you serious back there when you said that we were all going to teach Jia Chen, all 12 of us? I won't object to selecting a few of us with better aptitude to be educators. By the way, we already have an established internal hierarchy based on the sum of our abilities. Of course, the results weren't entirely to my satisfaction, due to an unexpected incident. Miss Otis, that is a statement mirrored in narrowed vision, rife with factual refractions. I am of the stance that the qualities of a good teacher are defined not by such statistics. So, you must be the one who placed last in that scale. uh, just don't say anything, bud. Best not to stand out like a sore thumb. I may have overreacted then. My lord has said that. From the virtuous we may learn to replicate their merits. From the flawed we may learn to avoid their failings. As long as the student is willing to learn, anyone, anything can be a teacher. I also, to embrace his teaching, seek from all those we come across. Just what in the heavens are you doing? I'm preparing a lesson plan for young Shi-chun, our family hierarch. Oh, you sure got on that fast, so what are these yellow wormy things here? Ah, 'tis a star, twinkling in its radiance. According to the schedule you have prepared, the student would have negative 3 hours available for sleep. This lesson plan's execution will require cooperation from the P-Corp. Yeah, that would be a mistake, fatal indeed. I shall correct it, post haste. Negative 3 hours. Seagong was staring at Don Quixote's expression of her wild artistic merit upon the curriculum with her usual crescent moon eyes. Wait, is that supposed to be Seagong's grimace? Of course, each to their own, I suppose. I need not hasten. I need not be shaken by every little thing until we have their actual lessons plans in head. Hey, thanks for putting your faith in us, Seagong. We barely have any of that to go around ourselves, so I understand it couldn't have been easy. You could say that I have learned my lesson. The recent events have taught me that the path of learning is truly one without end. I see that you have all individually worked on your lesson plan as for Seagong's request. I have received a total of... Whoa, she looks... Oh my god. I received a total of 12 lesson plans. Hold on, shouldn't there be 13 of them? Even the executive manager has decided to spare their precious time to teach a class. Huh? Yeah, I handed in my lesson plan too. That is because... so who didn't do their homework? Hey, me. Oh, please, at least try to make a compelling argument. Who else other than you could it possibly... It's me. You think? You've been acting out of character a lot recently. What's going on? Well, that's, Sinclair was drenched in sweat for some reason. Actually, In Sinclair's seat was a large stack of papers, each filled to the brim with writing. Sinclair, are these papers? Phew, I'm done. Sorry, I got too into making a lesson plan and just couldn't stop myself from writing. Phew. Sinclair couldn't have appeared more proud as he placed that big bundle of sweat-soaked papers in Z-Load. Z-Load? Oh, whoa. Zilu's hands. And she receives it with mild trepidation. You seem to have dedicated quite the momentous effort in drawing up this lesson plan. What's up with her? Let's start reviewing from the first of the stack. 108 analytical approaches to aesthetes AAA. What does AAA mean? And how do you plan to explore all 108 approaches in a month? Appreciation of artistry and assassinations. Went too far. Right, sorry. Flip a page and continue reading for those 108 approaches. What paint did you use? It's quite viscous, and the paper is partially melted. Lady, watch yourself, you got some on my arm. A painting? Entrails coating the world? Oh my god. So what the hell did you paint on that paper? Hey, get it together! Zilu stumbled briefly. Whatever was on the paper must have given her quite a shock. My mind wandered for a moment. This is too dangerous to be used for a lesson. Thus it goes to the discard pile. Weak sauce. Next, Intro to Societal Reintegration. Impressive title. Chapter 1, How to Shake Hands with Your Left Hand when the situation calls for it. Chapter 2, Your left hand? I get it. Exploration of exclusively long sleeve fashion and practices. Chapter 3, Projecting Confidence and why having a bug arm is totally cool. That's a, you know how it is. You're proud of who you are, all that philosophy stuff. I wanted this lesson to give a bit of a paradigm shift where we can all come to see our flaws not as failings but as evidence of our individuality, which will usher in a world where we can carry on with our lives no matter what kind of arm we have. Discard. Next. Intro to Denigrative Linguistics. Subheading: The power of words. Sticks and stones may break their bones, so let's add the words to the pile. My credentials include the ability to dress down an opponent so hard they fall to their knees and beg me to stop. I have plans for application as well. The lesson teaches methods pertaining to disguising compliments and criticism and vice versa. All of this seems rather difficult to learn. I have concluded from my hitherto observations that Xiaoqi Chun is an individual of great promise in this field. Follow my instructions to a T, and I guarantee you that this cadet shall be able to have the upper hand in any verbal confrontations. Is this a curriculum to make the best brawler or the best family hierarch out of me? On Justice, another impressive title. Subheading: Methodologies of captivating an entire room of preoccupied audience. Discard. Fie on thee, wherefore? Next. Praxis of ego splitting concerning intermirror conflict between the self and the reflection and paradoxically fractured theory of idealism in which one attempts to open an opening door to open the door. Utterly incomprehensible. Discard. Perhaps Miss Ryoshi's advice to truncate the lesson title should have been taken in earnest. Survival and exploration. 21 reasons to pay attention when the exploration team leader is giving advice on the upcoming adventure. Case study for 30 horrible mistakes that have occurred because the team was distracted during the leader's lecture. How to track down a troublemaker who tries to sweep trouble under the rug while the team leader isn't looking. Someone ignored my advice that we should be moving 2 steps ahead. Finally, I've narrowed them down to 3 culprits. Oh, wait, I forgot to take that part out. Where did that shredder come from? The art of yawning as a cover for popping a cookie or 2 into your mouth. Okay, this was Raja. Hey, if you get good enough at it, you can do it with nuts too. What? So it was you who made those crunching noises in our last meeting. What? Nah, what do you take me for, an amateur? The art of social maneuvers. How to let it flow through you. How to not make things awkward when you walk right in on someone bad-mouthing you. The most important part of this art is to flash a refreshing smile in a way that looks earnest. It helps you when you convince yourself that smiling is what brings good fortune. Smiles have a way of disarming people, giving them pause and making them hesitate. I remember that. Big Bro used that technique to confuse a lot of Dagwan Yuan people who hated him. I see this. I can't quite bring myself to throw this into the shredder. Next, how to remain in complete stillness for a week until the next command is received. This lesson plan was designed based on Rodian's advice that I must prioritize strengths that are unique to myself. Look, in my defense, I didn't know he considered this to be his unique strength, okay? Let's consider whether standing complete stillness for a week is a quality one might seek in the family hierarch. This one is certainly interesting. What separates bravado from bravery? Jack shite! Start off and grab your weapons. Yep, always gotta read the full print. It's my philosophy that reason don't necessarily need to be considered before coming to blows. Martial prowess is indeed an indispensable part of the family hierarch's qualities, but our focus is not on developing a hierarch of a syndicate. Next, information disparity as a driver of inequitable treatment. Oh, huh? That's actually the most interesting sounding one so far. And the application of engineering frameworks. Okay, it's kind of losing me, but I'm still on board. For systematic resolution in rational self-interest driven societies. And is it still going? That was 1/5 of the full title. It seems that the same trouble has hindered both you and I. Every word in that title was added for its absolute necessity. Indeed, indeed. Finally, now that's over. It's finally my turn. Sinclair sighed with gravitas as someone who's just been bestowed the most important mission in his life. Thinking back, even back in school I used to daydream about becoming a teacher myself. I thought I could be good at it. So I guess you could say I'm pretty happy to be given an opportunity like this. I call my lesson the theory on self-overcoming. We have to accept that everyone stumbles at first, but by striving to be a better person than I was yesterday. But what if I like who I was yesterday more? That's okay, everyone has their own unique potential sleeping deep inside. So, with everything I've learned and experienced so far, let me teach you. Let me teach you how to not doubt your own capabilities, how to always shoot higher. You had me for a second there, but what's with acting like you're an infinitely more enlightened person than I am? Of course, I prepared speaking class, where you can learn to speak with modesty too. I never would have imagined that Claire would be this into it. Yeah, too bad he's so into it that he's not even listening to what Yi-Chen's saying. How's everything going? Class prep going well? My curriculum, most special. Okay, so that's a no. That was Saul's impression. Upon taking a quick glance at Don Quixote, he was sobbing and cradling the shattered pieces of it. Oh my god. Well, it wasn't a complete bust. At least Sinclair's lesson plan survived. Phew. Miss Zigong, Miss Saul, I prepared a full 30 days worth of lesson plans. Would you like to take a look? So he doesn't know. Would you mind explaining this to Zilu? I could not bring myself to tell him. Apologies. This young man produces his entire sizable stack of lesson plans all on his own. I see. Weakness has found its way into your heart in the face of such earnest effort. I understand. It has been decided that Sinclair will not be participating as one of Yi-Chen's teachers. Or should I call you pupil Sinclair to be exact? This has got to be a mistake, right? Isn't Yi-Chen the pupil here? No, there haven't been any mistakes. My lord has specifically instructed that you are to learn from this as well. What? What? Seriously? This isn't right. Guys, this isn't right. Now this looks like a proper classroom. It would have felt pretty dang empty with just Yi-Chen sitting there all on her own, don't you think? Besides, I bet Sink's the resident expert on going to schools, right? School is a luxury for me, you know. Yeah, maybe, but that doesn't mean I ever wanted to go back to school. You should learn to be grateful. I don't dole out my teachings to just anyone. Don't forget, we have to redo the whole lesson plan under their supervision. Otis, you always get on your soapbox and try to lecture everyone about something after every battle anyways. And you, Ishmael, you get hyperfixated on something. Once you find something interesting, you never stop talking about it for 3 hours at least, and... I will ensure that you receive the best education I can provide, Sinclair. Hold on, Yi Sang, I thought we were the underdog duo. Remember the checkup when I said, we got this? We were going to get this together. The evaluation painted a twisted picture of the true scale of strength, the sole measure of which erroneously relied entirely on physical might. I shall not hesitate to impart knowledge for those who require education. Congratulations, my lady. You found yourself a deskmate, which some also call a bestie, depending on desk placement. Deskmate? Bestie? What the heck does any of that mean? Huh? Jia Yi-Chen's eyes widened with confusion, as though she just heard those words for the first time in her life. When I first met her, she was 16. She explained to me she hadn't attended any school-like institutions. This is par for the course for children of Hong Yuan, who are raised for the purpose of becoming the next family hierarch. The reason being that schools can be a perfect place to assassinate someone. So, deskmates and besties? Sinclair began to explain, seemingly resigned to the fact he was essentially going back to school for a month with the other sinners as his teachers. Usually sit next to each other and help one another out. A bestie might nudge the other awake when they doze off, share their homework with one if another forgot to do theirs. They usually end up being included in the best of memories of each other's school time. So not very important at all, huh? I think I got this on my own. I don't need a bestie. May have come a few years late, but I am moved that my lady finally has a chance at experiencing school. Same here. I remember it like yesterday. Chen would sit and watch other kids walk to school from a distance, tears welling up in her eyes. Dude! Oh, that reminds me. One day out of nowhere, she started crying. Wait, she started saying something about eating lunchboxes with friends. I haven't a clue as to how or where she even heard about it. She snuck into the kitchen and... wait! Don't you guys have lesson plans to write? Come on, hurrying up. Hurrying up, what? Hurry up. 30 days are ticking down, and we've only got 30 days. Of course. Fortunately, I've become quite occupied with another task of great importance, assisting Wei with indexing and reviewing various documents that are in critical need of organizing. Thus, I must leave the lesson planning task to you two, Zilu and Miss Saud. Have you any thoughts on this matter? Slacker. What was that? I said nothing. Zilu and Saud appeared to have aged several years overnight, their faces sunken and sallow. Finally, after referencing the idiosyncrasies and very statistical data available to us regarding each center, we managed to come up with an appropriate curriculum. And Miss Zilu? Apologies. Sleep deprivation has relieved me of clear mind. The path of an educator is truly a grueling one. Marching to battle would be much easier. Still, thanks to Mr. Jiachu's methodology you shared, we did manage to find a way to make this quite efficient. Efficient, huh? To be a true family hierarch, there are dozens, hundreds of virtues one must understand and master. However, to do so in 30 days, as promised, is an implausible effort. Thus, we have categorized the countless virtues into 3 super categories. And they are called... What are these supposed to be? Ji, Yang, and Ren. Ji, wisdom. Wisdom. The wise lose neither people nor words. To hold one's silence in need of speech shall cost them people. To speak in need of silence shall cost them words. A reasonable sequence of logic. Yang, courage. The ability to overcome fear, to act decisively. Have too much of it and risk becoming a brute. Have too little and risk becoming a craven. It needs harmony and balance. So how far are we allowed to go with corporal punishment again? I recall no instance of any discussion regarding corporal punishment. And Ren, humanity, is the benevolence of the heart, the compass of behavior that dictates respect toward every human. Clearly most of the faculties of the school are severely lacking all 3 of your criteria. Just how do you think they'll be able to teach the students anything? Yeah, like a certain someone who needs a lesson in Ren. Are you sure I'm in good hands? Just what the heck am I supposed to learn here? Where's Wei? Mr. Wei and Miss Gong are currently quite preoccupied with handling the monumental task of paperwork. Right. Mr. Wei wanted me to deliver this message to you. Be strong, my lady. Wei! Despite her protestations, what? The 30 days of classes commenced. What the fuck? Okay, oh my god. This is a mandatory class. Okay. Days and stats. The goal is to raise the main stats to be as possible. Each class specializes in raising different stats. Some classes might even raise the goal of the students morale values. This is just moves to me. What the fuck? Aside from the days with classes, you use up to 3 classes per days. Classes can have instant failure. This is class will greatly increase, but class will reduce. Higher morale results in greater success chances. Combos are class combinations that give certain bonus effects when they are taken on the same day. You discover combos reduce action, activation. Taxidermy genius. Okay, so like, okay. Once you select all your classes, in class. Classes progress automatically. During class, you can do students changing stat values in real time. Taking a class, you have to keep. Once class 60 has been maxed out, the class will be upgraded to the next level. Taking higher level classes will give more stat increases. Okay. Okay, master's knives. Raising G, younger and stat goes to level, will enhance students' combat prowess. These enhances are applied separately for them. Okay. Select magnifiers to view detailed stats. A certain days combat encounters occur in basic classes. Skill slots change automatically. Okay. Only by winning can you progress. Okay. I mean, it's mandatory today. So these are a lot of Ren. Ren is, I forgot it. I don't even remember what the fuck it was. Morale is tip top. Tip top. Okay. And then stats. Oh my god. Okay, it's bolus, okay. Level 50? Begin class. My name is Yi Sang, that is all. The class I prepared for the day. Aha, I've heard plenty about your mirror tech. Which makes me wonder. Going by the level of advancement in technology, couldn't you have approached it from a different angle? You know how technological advancement usually goes. People invent for the sake of creation, only to have their inventions inevitably warped through weapons of destruction. Indeed, you show much promise already. As you surmise now, the mirror has, in the past, almost been employed to shatter possibilities instead of reflecting them. I'm sure that's the angle most others wanted to see happen. Removal of potential risks sound much more palatable than potential itself to some people after all. Correct again. Yet destruction was a word that bore too much suffering for my heart. My sole egress from it was abandonment of my quondam fools, my condom fellows, and my life's work, making myself a fugitive from the past. How would you bring yourself to just abandon it all? I conversed. With who? With myself, that lies within me. As you are aware, the mirror's reflections extend beyond the veils of our own reality. It reflects the potentialities, the latent strength, and the world. Yet, even among them, the reflection of the greatest importance is that of the self. Let not the innumerable words of the mirror enchant your gaze. First, one must direct their studies inward and reflect upon themselves. Oh my god. Now if you're prepared, do explain what you see in the mirror. You needn't haste. For some reason, Shi-chun appeared to hesitate before the mirror. Hey, you know, it's been a while since I looked into the mirror for so long. My lady, do you recall Sun Jin of the Shi family who contacted you for a meeting? Yeah, the guy who said he was gonna show me a precious flower that blooms only at night? I remember that you were vehemently against me going out there, so I stayed inside. I wonder what kind of flower it was. Don't tell me you were actually looking forward to meeting him, my lady. Oh, of course not. You were wise to stay inside. It was revealed that you weren't the only person who was invited, my lady. That vile man had hired a group of assassins to ambush a meeting spot, and would have been waiting there to spring the trap had you gone. But apparently, he was outplayed and had his limbs and head torn off as punishment. What a relief, isn't it? I guess. I'm glad I didn't go away. You were right. If only you still had the Wu branch under your control. Stop it. We agreed to move on from that, remember? We don't have to talk about it. I was brushing my hair and looking in the mirror as we were talking, but I realized I no longer recognized the girl in the mirror. I don't know why, but I found it so hard to meet her eyes. But I brushed it off because I had to. An experience like that was going to be a common occurrence anyway, and the family hierarch war was always looming on the horizon. Perhaps what you felt then may have been shame, but it is paramount to face oneself nonetheless, nay, especially so if it was. And Sinclair, what do you see? I I just see myself smiling. I don't see what's so out of the ordinary. But it seemed like Sinclair couldn't really bring himself to face the mirror. After what we just discussed, I think I understand something now. Now that I have some quiet time looking at my reflection, I think I uncovered a part of myself I've hidden away for a long time. This is so funny, bro. Ugh. Oh my god. I guess I had to... Yeah, I can't select it again. More morale and EXP. Wow. This is... Ahem. Hmm. Tis true that our station of teaching is prone to imbue one with a sense of bashfulness. Sinclair and Ji-chun both sat with a bit of apprehension as well. Which is understandable, given what Sao told them sometime before the lesson started. Otis, who had been glaring daggers at Don Quixote for a good while, finally decided to voice her doubts to Sao. So, what is Don Quixote, that woman, supposed to teach? Have you not considered that her usual flippancy might only cause more trouble than it's worth? You worry too much, Otis. While she may not look like it, Don Quixote is extremely well versed in those adventure tales. And why would any of that matter? Have you yourself not considered that fixtures often appear when history is in the making? Let's see here. Don Quixote took a second to savor the moment as though she had been preparing her whole life for it, then continued. Amongst the greatest fixers whose honored names were engraved in history, verily, let us commence this with the tale of fixer Yue Fei. This tale beginneth in the year... Are you done? Just how can she continue to talk at such length? She's been going on for ages. Thus cometh the time to test thy dedication to this class, the knowledge that should naturally come up with it, a pop quiz if thou wilt. When she even find the time to prepare this? I can assure thee, 'tis a quiz of entirely reasonable difficulty. If thou hast paid attention in class, worry thee not. Does this pop quiz have prizes? But of course, I came prepared for such inquiries. For each correct answer... For each correct answer, I shall bestow upon thee, from the very treasure chest of mine, these precious fixer badges. Forsooth, I did not let a single day go by in which I did not polish each and every one of them on 3 separate occasions at the very least. I don't really need them. Hold that applause, for there's a bonus reward for the victor who by the end of this carries more badges. Thou shalt attain the role of protagonist in the theatrical play of my making, Fixer Chronicles, Yue Fei. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. It's not really doing anything for us. It's a pretty useless reward, but if you're turning this into a competition, I won't lose. Seriously? What, scared you'll lose? Is history your weakness or something? I'll have you know that I was a teacher's pet in every single history class I took. And I'll have you know that I was, no matter the subject, showered with praise from every master I've ever had. Okay, if that's how you want to play it. I'll have you know I was a prodigy in other classes too. I did great in art class, pretty good in math too. I was just being humble because I didn't want to steal your thunder, Shi-chun. Well, then let me tell you, I was trained in the mastery of at least 10 different disciplines every single day. And on one of those days, you know what one of my masters told me? He said... That's good. No matter how excellent her masters were, there are some experiences you just can't learn from teachers. 'Tis year 505. What is the historical community consists on the most illustrious battle that Fixer Yue Fei is said to have partaken in? Allow me to impart thee a major clue. If thou hadst paid attention as I discoursed upon the 5 pillages, in which the Fixer Yue Fei was mentioned, this should not be a difficult question to answer. The honorable Fixer with the Cerulean Heaven, of the Cerulean Heaven, who... oh my god, I can't read. Who attained triumph in the Battle of Rhino Tree in the year 465, had said what was the worst ordeal she had faced in her career. I've got it. It's when she had to forge onward despite watching her dear comrades fall one by one as they held the line to buy her time. Oh, damn it, I was too slow. 3, Young Ji-chun, thou art correct. Incorrect. Honorable Fixer of the Cerulean Heaven is reported to have testified that the worst ordeal in her career was when she was forced to stand before her enemies with hair that was not luscious, as the supply line breakage caused her regular delivery oh my god. It's her 17th most difficult ordeal. She's speaking like she was actually there. That impression is quite understandable, for I am trained in the ways of vividly regaling these tales. But most of these are tales I have learned from books. Much as I anticipate an opportunity to regale these tales to such audience, to study the ways of mistress. She's fucking posing. What was the secret technique Honorable Fixer Lysander employed in his resolution of the case of the Fey Forest? Speak his name in full. I've got it. It's the Summer Night's Fantasia. Yet I cannot let pass such an unmotivated retelling of super ultimate move. Hardly could one internalize the true noble spirit of Fixers by simply reciting it with such apathy. That must recreate the exact pose in the enunciation. Are you kidding me? Phew. Come on, you can do this, Ji-chun. You can do this. This is nothing. Illusions of a midsummer night shall devour thee whole. Oh my god. Summer night? Fantasia! Thine enunciation was quite shaky upon the word illusions, yet thou hast demonstrated sufficient courage. Thus I bestow upon thee this badge. I grow tired of this nonsense. Just how much longer are you planning to drag this on? Thus muttered the hero, then declared, I shall tear this evil storm asunder and find a place for this blade at the center of thy heart. Dante, light's left side. Gotcha. Don Quixote was still watching Sinclair and Ji-chun's two-person play and silently wiped her tears away. Bravo, bravo! Certain minor details are missed, such as that Yue Fei, the fixer, was left-handed, that he had a habit of playing with a lighter in his left pocket before every duel, yet 'twas a wonderful reenactment indeed. Dude, why does she know so much? I have no other critique to impart upon thee. When faced with great adversity in thine adventures, rekindle the memory of Yue Fei, the fixer's final duel. Remember it well. Let's come to an end the lessons of today. It was just for a moment, but I think I'm starting to get it. I get why she's so obsessed with fixers. Clutched tightly in Ji-chun's head with the badges Don Quixote gifted her. Man, my throat is killing me. Yeah? Okay, 16 magic. Okay. Whew. Combo. There's wow, there are a lot of combos. Is there one for everyone? No. I mean, morale isn't exactly something I'm worried about right now. So I'll just keep doing G. Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. Boom! This is a component part taken from the structure that forms H-Corp. This may prove to be an opportunity to conduct an in-depth analysis on the nature of the former H-Corp's singularity, which has been enduring for such a long time. Huh, you look kind of upbeat today, Miss Faust. Indeed, an opportunity to study Old H-Corp's singularity is not one that comes often. As there was potential for integration into Mephistopheles, I made a request to disassemble a part of the bus's engine, but was denied. A shame. Aren't you the one who built Mephistopheles, though, Miss Faust? Mephistopheles is indeed Faust's work, but not all of it was mine. It is possible that Faust may never reveal every small detail that went into its creation. I would very much enjoy a chance to completely disassemble it, even its engines, so that it could be reassembled with my own hands. Yeah, sure. What the fuck? So that's how it works. I think I get it. Didn't think this is how I'd get to learn a little more about the old H-Corp. I don't think I can do much against the reconstruction days right now. But this kind of knowledge will certainly come in handy when the day comes for me to gradually dismantle that iniquitous thing. The day when Hong Yuan can be a place where people can live without fear. Without the fear of encroaching reconstruction days. Without obsessively counting their rooms to see if they'll fall or not. Until Hong Yuan can be a place where you can sleep with the promise of safe tomorrows. I'm sure you'll pull it off. Oh, and I learned a lot during this lesson too, Miss Faust. BANG! The voltage must have been set too high. repeating experiment with a different combination of fuses and wires. There was supposed to be a lesson in there, right? Alright. Okay, we got my word tails. Oh boy. These two are a combo. Oh, these two are a combo. Class success rate, wow. Okay, I need to mix and match like everyone right now, I guess. This was upgraded. I should focus on upgrading this. Okay, hold up. But actually no. Because she doesn't need morale right now. This is for when I need morale. For the most part, I would say. Because she teaches Ren, which is like we have better classes for Ren, is what I'm saying. Unlike some other classes, which were more on the upbeat side of things. The room's air felt grim and solemn as soon as everyone saw that Gregor had written on what Gregor had written on the chalkboard. On war. Losing a wing war leaves a much longer lasting impact than some medium-sized enterprise closing up shop. It might be too soon to talk about this, but we came pretty darn close to one recently, didn't we? We were this close to a large-scale war breaking out right here, which absolutely would have happened if Miss Yi Chen here failed to finish her ascension. It would have spread like wildfire too. So my class is going to be about what exactly happens when a war... Oh. It slipped from his fingers as he went to scribble something. His left hand was trembling, as though the room's temperature has plummeted only for him. Man, why's it got it? Excuse me, Mrs. Zilu. Is it okay if I smoke? Go ahead. You good? Well, when else am I gonna get the chance to share the realities of war right to the Wing Chief Executive Officer's face, huh? The moments just don't come off your skin, no matter how hard you scrub at them. Hey, take a break if you need it. I'm going to listen to every word you say here today, no matter how long it takes. Man, do I appreciate that sentiment. Well, still though, I can't dilly-dally when Miss Shi-chun's got other stuff to deal with, huh? So, let's take a look at how things were at the very beginning of the Wing War. And that's why the Smoke War fronts were mostly characterized by trench warfare. No one wanted to risk fighting in concrete jungles where they would be surrounded by enemies at all times, so everyone tried to draw each other's attention out to an open field battle, which naturally turned into trench warfare. Of course, every wing has a different singularity, so this wasn't really applicable to all cases. It's just that the former G-Corp found flat plains easier to maneuver in. I feel like Daguan Yuan could make a pretty good use of Hongyuan as a defensive fortress, especially with its internal structure constantly shifting around, which the Heisho no one used very well. Exactly. This should explain why they were hesitating outside Daguan Yuan. Remember the thumb fellas? The ones we met who are going in circles? Not to mention how the Heisho all utilize topography of Hongyuan differently. Even if an outsider were to get a read on how one of the branches maneuver around Hongyuan, as long as the 12 Heisho branches are standing, Hongyuan is unassailable. Well, despite going into all of that, I'm sure we all know what the best answer in all warfare is. Not having a war in the first place. I'll be honest, I can't stop thinking about some of the stories you've been telling us. I can't even imagine what it must have been like to not only witness it, but go through all of that. We did visit your fathoms, Gregor, but that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. The city was devoured in smoke, its citizens in madness. He'd always shrug off those stories as ramblings of the past, but during the war, he stood at the center of the heartless machine that was the city. Its every gear calibrated to the slaughterhouse precision to maximize the death of its people. There, he must have witnessed things far worse than the city presently has to offer. His eyes gazed beyond the veil of the bygone past, shaking restlessly in pursuit of what was no more. Oh boy, sorry fellas, I'm afraid I got carried away lamenting what happened, that I forgot this was supposed to be a class. I'll be sure to prep something more useful next time. No, everything you told me really solidified my resolve. This chaos within Hong Yuan needs to come to an end soon, lest something so horrible can happen. I'm heading to my next class. Wait for me! Even after the two students had left, Gregor lingered in that room for a while, lighting up cigarette after cigarette without erasing what he wrote on the chalkboard. Smoke soon filled the room. He left only after emptying the entire pack. Ooh, Hong Lua. I'm assuming, yeah, I still don't got more yet. Bang, bang. Tip top. As long as it's in tip top, I don't really need to use Don Quixote yet. How are classes going, Ji-chun? Not you, big bro. I pay attention in class. Oh, hello, Miss Dayu. She was really insistent on helping me out, even though I refused because she looked preoccupied. The moment I found out about the contents of his lesson plan, I simply could not allow him to do this alone. Looks like it's going to be another serious class. Apologize for the delayed greetings. Dayu, the Lin family formally extends her greeting to the venerable Hierarch. Been a while since I heard that greeting around here. Wait, what about Big Sis Bao Chai? Are you sure it's okay for the Zhu family bodyguard to be here? I'm no longer employed as Miss Bao Chai's bodyguard. Don't tell me you got No, everything I did that day, including accompanying you, was under Miss Bao Chai's orders. As for why she no longer needed my services, I don't understand myself. She suddenly let me go after the trouble was over. So, what's there for you to teach me, big bro? Your lesson plan was about making things not making things awkward got vetoed by Zulu, so... Could have taught me a thing or two if we were still kids, but come on. You spent most of your time stuck in Hong Yuan before leaving Hong Yuan. I don't know what you could possibly have to teach me. Don't you worry, Shi-chan. This is the one thing I think I'm pretty good at. My lesson for Shi-chan and Sinclair is clear, neat handwriting. Hong Lu wrote, surviving Hong Yuan. I don't think I need help in that department from you. Look, I know you've had your share of assassination attempts, but Jiamu, wow, you didn't go through it like us. She's not wrong. Back when we had to fight our way through a bunch of sweepers, weren't you also one of the handful who got assassinated? Oh, that? I was wandering the hallways because I felt like something was off about my room. Until Dante told us to go back to our rooms, of course. Wait, it was my fault? You do have some intuition, I'll give you that. Looks like I'm going to have to prove myself. Now would you mind preparing the thing? You have my utmost faith, but please, do practice caution. What's that? That's powdered wolfsbane. I see where this is going. You're going to teach me how to tell which of these bowls contain poison, right? You can stop now. I learned to recognize it from its poisons like wolfsbanes when I was 7. It was something as tame as what you're... If it was something as tame as what you're suggesting, Venerable Hierarch, I would not have been here to accompany him. He's gonna drink it. Please mix them up. Okay, wait, what? Those silver spoons were custom made at Aguan Yuan's request. A must-have item for children of the Great Four Houses. They can detect non-sulfuric poison as well. I know they're actually... Actually what? It's nothing. In Hong Yuan, where we are beset by threats of assassination from all directions, you know knowledge alone isn't enough to save you. What the heck are you? Then he throws the silver spoons toward 3 of the bowls. Immediately chugs the 4th bowl. Holy crap, are you insane? You barely even checked them for... Jiren's newer tea is always so delicious, even when cooled. 3 silver spoons were slowly melting away. Wow, is wolfbane poison supposed to melt through metal? People like to be thorough with their poisons in Dogwon Yuan, since everyone's been trained for immunity since childhood. You have to make a mixture of various poisons to have a real effect. I don't want to argue. What's your secret? I want to know too. Did they sound different or something? I just went with my hunch. Just a hunch? How are we supposed to learn that? We're not Heathcliff, you know. You'll get the hang of it after a few tries. I'll help you out. Shall we begin with 2 bowls? Oh my god. I see. When you say you just avoided whatever felt wrong with the hunch, you're reflexively identifying the effect by reading the room and connecting it to your intuitive experiences. You're using misdiagnosed anxious breathing to clue you in. So this is how you managed to survive so long. Listen carefully, Ji-chun. I know that the depths of each haze shell will come to your aid with a flick of your wrist. And I know that your residence, Nuansheng-wu, will be engineered by the best craftsmen to become a safe fortress stocked to the brim with all kinds of useful boluses to protect your life. Even still, there still will come a day when you start to feel this creeping sensation whose origins you can't identify. When it does, I hope you won't brush off that sensation as nothing. You're worrying over nothing. Oh my god. Whatever. Expert. Every 6 days you will be subject to midterms, prepared by the board of directors, Jia Yuan-chun. A palanquin has been prepared to take you to the exam sites, and only by passing the tests may Jia Shi-chun retain her status as the family hierarch. My lady, don't worry about yourself very much, Master Wei. You sound like you're at a funeral. She will pass these tests with ease as long as she has been diligently taking her classes. No, I simply hope I can survive until she returns. It seems that Wei's rather funereal voice wasn't just out of his concern for Shi-chun. Wei, are you sure you're okay? I can't escape them, even in dreams. The unfinished bundles of paperwork is cascading over me like a storm burying me. Still yourself, for that was no dream at all. In fact, never once have I seen paperwork trained in the art of airwalking. I must be severely sleep deprived. Okay, mandatory class. Okay, I gotta put her through fucking. Hey, you're one of the she boys. We finally meet. I had hoped to fight you in the family hierarch war. If you'd run to me then. Isn't this supposed to be a sparring match? Why does it sound like you're having a personal grudge against me? Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all. Why in the world would I ever hold a grudge against you? The results of the family hierarch war couldn't be any clearer. Everyone even remotely connected to the mess hall has been dragged away and put under investigation. And hey, guess what? They dragged away half of my family, which means more room for me. I should really thank you, right? Honestly, why don't you just declare a war against the Sheep family at this point? Wouldn't that be much easier? War's not easy. It never is. What are you about all of a sudden? It's not something we should be talking so lightly about, even as a joke. Your family was arrested because they are under investigation for treason against Dongguan Yuan. If they're innocent, I'm sure they'll be released soon enough. I know it's pretty much a given that they'll all be ruled as guilty, regardless of what really happened. You know I can't even pay them a visit because you've hidden their cells all over Hongyuan. They're not hidden. All holding cells within Hongyuan have always been designed to move around in very short intervals. You know, that does seem like the kind of design that would lead people to make some unfortunate assumptions, though I'm sure the initial purpose was to prevent escapes. I recently gained a better understanding of Hongyuan's structure, so I'm planning to change our policies so that prisoners still on trial are allowed to have fixed locations. Really? Where'd you... I was lucky enough to take a few excellent classes recently. Managed to reflect upon myself a bit too. Huh, you did change a little. Still, you better not expect me to go easy on you. I've got my own things to take care of. Good, come on, let's do this. Many illustrious fictions of the past have said that not but disparagement awaits unjust victories. Oh my god. Here we go. Oh yeah, I just had to roll with it. Whoa! I mean, I already fought against this guy, but he's weaker now. Weaker, allegedly. Oh, okay. Bruh, she's like hella count positive for some reason. But she has no potency, right? Something like that. These are gonna be easy fights. Easy enough. It's literally on autoplay. Good for you, you won. Now stop giving me that look and get out of here. You lost most of your clan during the family Hierarch war, didn't you? Yeah, so what? Are you calling me a penniless loser? Yeah, you little. And I'm sure that's what I look like to you, too. I don't want your... Sorry, every clan member who died in the evaluation to have died for nothing. If I show weakness, that means I'm making everyone who participated in the evaluation look weak. So I'm going to win. I'm going to win without the fertile soil my predecessors have left behind, because their legacy was unjustly nourished by the blood and tears of Hong Yuan itself. Shi Huaixin. You are tenacious, determined, strong of will. That must be why everyone stood by you, down to the last man. You knew my name, ma'am? I do. So, what do you think when I make them sing your name in glory for the remaining history of Hong Yuan? It's funny because Hong Lu didn't know his name. Heard you managed to come out on top in your first sparring match. Congrats. Thanks. I gotta admit, your classes are definitely coming in handy. I like your attitude. Well, shall we take a look at what I prepared for today? You're teaching about exploring, huh? Is it going to be an indoors class? Yep, exploring. Where should I begin? It's a very big subject. Free soloing to the top of the highest building in Hongyuan, surviving 10 days in Hongyuan Backstreet with only 3 items. I had plenty of ideas, but most of them got denied. And rightly so. That's when I realized that exploring isn't always limited to adventures in the physical scape. So I'm just here to fill in since this game needs a certain number of players, but really? Can you really call this tabletop game an adventure? Yet, in games of make-believe, any simulacra can be made as real as... what a move. Ooh, nice. I'm gonna roll for damage. We're playing D&D. Young Ishmael, thou hast absolutely pummeled the Gorgon beast with thy fireball spell, renewing it most crispy. It was a formidable foe. That was wonderfully executed, Mr. Ishmael. Really? Well then, as my next move... That's how you came up with this? I played a few other games, but this is new for me, too. I'm pretty new in general, I guess. This is called Jianghu Journeys. The fucking... Or J&J. It's a popular game among Hong Yuan's youth. It's gotten generally positive reviews, too. What Ishmael so proudly presented before everyone appeared to be a board game with numerous cards and minifigures. Okay, what do these huge piles of papers have to do with exploration? Rule number 1. The most experienced player among these gathered becomes the JM. Journey Master. The DM. The Journey Master designs the story around the player's choices, sets the stage for what happens next, and generally helps explorers to safely arrive at their goals. That's why the most experienced player takes that role, which would be me. Wisdom, strength, dexterity, each character seems to have these things called stats. Looks like we just have to pick from a set of pre-made characters for this one. So I'm supposed to be playing as this character's role. You arrive at the great city of Yanyan, a place known to be a gathering hub for all kinds of influential people. You traveled here in search of a legendary treasure called the Tianya Sword. The city of Yanyan, huh? Cool. So, why are we looking for that sword again? It's because there's this legend in Yanyan about the Sword of Right. The Tianya Sword is the only way to quell the chaos of these lands and bring peace to its people. And also, about how having that sword is proof of the true leader of these lands, and so on and so forth. The city called Yanyan must be in a lot of trouble too. Well, you know how it is. The point is, you guys need to go find that sword. Then, I will claim the Tianya sword, no matter what it costs me. They're just playing D&D. From the rumors you've gathered, it seems the Kajan Keep might have heard of the whereabouts of that sword. What will you do? I walk up to the Kajan Keep, chat him up, and try to gain his trust. Are you sure? Remember, your whiz is extremely low right now, which means you'll find it hard to form even the simplest sentences. What if I found a different way to gain his trust that doesn't involve sweet-talking him? I have a pretty high strength stat, which should give me access to certain alternative methods of persuasion that don't require skill in speechcraft. Hold on, I'll try to convince the Kajan Keep. I think I've got a decent chance at this. My whiz is pretty high. And you pass the check. The Kajan Keep looks at you, lowering his guard. Oh, not you, Sinclair. He's still pretty wary of you. Okay, then I guess I'll just stand in the corner over here and shoot my weapon and play around with it for a bit. That's what he expects me to do anyway, isn't it? You're just replaying Heathcliff now, aren't you? The Kajan Keep shares some information about the sword he heard. He explains that the party should seek northeast toward Yinji Mountain. But what's this? Tears begin to well up in his eyes as he continues. Apparently a patrolling guard beat his son pretty badly, just for loitering around the guard. The wound is pretty severe, so he needs medicine, but he can't seem to find any. Oh no, that's too bad, but we've got a job to do. Since we have what we came here for, let's leave the Kajan. Well, they say that James are supposed to interfere with players' choices, but let's be honest, I would have made the same choice. You can't stop and help every single side quest when there's a whole adventure to go through. Well, no, we're not leaving. Let's get him that medicine. Kajan Keef's son, fortunately, was able to hears your story and hesitantly shares what he knows. You realize he's talking about the fairy Yaoguai, guardian of the Tianya sword. He explains the fairy Yaoguai's power grows under the bright moonlight. Isn't the full moon right now? We should wait until the sky is overcast. Hearing that, the innkeep's son takes a quick look at the crowd and says it might be raining in about a week. Glad we helped him out. Okay, let's make sure we prepared before we go. You're gonna have to roll a 15 or higher to D&D. I know, I'm focused. Hey, I rolled a 16. With the final singular strike from Jiaji-chun, the fairy Yaoguai finally falls to the ground defeated. Yes, the Tianya sword is ours. Excited, the party runs up to the sword embedded deep into the earth and grabs enthusiastically upon the hilt. With this, we can... However, the defeated fairy Yaoguai, the party assumed was dead, suddenly jumps to his feet and lunges at Jiaji-chun, who just pulled the sword. No, I quickly get between Jiaji-chun and the monster. What if that crits is going to be pretty deadly, even for you? Let's see if you can make the evasion save. 1 and another 1. Nope. That's a critical fail. It's okay. Sinclair falls to the ground, bleeding profusely from the gaping wound. Yaoguai lies still as well, its final vestiges of strength completely spent. Sinclair, go on without me. Take that sword and go down to the village. Become the leader they need. That sword is your proof. No, the sword wouldn't mean anything without my adventuring buddy. I'm going to banish Sinclair and carry him back. I won't leave him behind and send him out all on my own. If that's your choice, then yeah, the bleeding stops as you wrap him up. He's just that sturdy, you know? The strike would have killed him, pretty much anyone, but you know how healthy he is. On your feet, Sinclair. We're getting out of here together. Grab onto my shoulder, that's it, step by step. Hey, Shi-chun, look over there. Everyone we'd helped on our journey. Come to help welcome us home. You're right, if it weren't for you, I never would have stopped to talk to every single villager and hear their troubles. The sword was only a symbol all along. All of our efforts and experience that we gained for the sword were what taught us how to be a good, leader, not the sword itself. You're right, the real success of this adventure was everyone's efforts along the way. I feel like the game overtook the class at some point along the way. In regards to every activity, involvement of unnecessary emotions and personal judgment is to be wasteful. I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that. Then I will share an excerpt from Sinclair's exchange with the manager 32 days ago. Begin quote. Huh? 32 days ago? What? Excuse me, Dante? I'm sorry to have asked you this, but most of us are fairly wounded, so can you please turn the clock just one more time? End quote. Unnecessary interjections weighed down your request. Wow, that's pretty bad. Did I really stutter that badly? It's a waste of time to involve emotions when delivering unfavorable news. The same message could have been delivered with merely 2 words. We failed. Let us commence field practice. Do not ask me a single question for the next 5 minutes. Huh? Well, okay, sure, it seems easy enough. Oh, are you okay? Rassault, you okay? His eyes snapped open. Task failed. 5 minutes have not passed. You're cheating! This reminds me of the incident Sinclair had so desperately wished to hide. What? The what? Who wished to what? Despite your belief that no one would ever find out about your secret, there was one person who got to the bottom of the incident. Come on, just what did you see? Failed again. The trolling is crazy. Oh my god. Attention! Today's lesson. We'll cover intelligence acquisition. In other words, men. You will learn how to gain information from people. Hey, I'm pretty good at that. You just have to turn them to your side. By being generous with my spending, by setting a good example as a superior, they'll eventually open up. Foolishness. Eh? That is among the worst strategies I've ever had the displeasure of hearing. Do you not see how wasteful it is to spend a limited military budget? How wasteful it is to spend so much precious time trying to butter them over? The most efficient means of obtaining intelligence is torture. Torture? I say that's the worst strategy I've ever had the displeasure of hearing. I'd rather not waste my clan's strength on something so utterly useless like that. Besides, if you end up accidentally killing them... Foolishness, foolishness. Jeez, can you stop saying that word? How simplistic and disappointing. Your imagination falls short. If that is all you can think of when you hear the word torture, then this unit... this isn't exactly a military unit. Then this Hangyuan may indeed be beyond your ability to lead. While I'm waiting, get on with your lesson. The most effective method of torture isn't physical. Things like waterboarding, electrocution, all are inferior. Today, you will learn the torture of language. With this method, you will always find the answer you want. Use speechcraft to entrap their minds, slowly constrict around them, and let them take brief sighs of relief every time they give you an answer. That, cadets, is what you will be learning today. To your positions, cadets. They look so happy. So, I hear you've defeated Shi Huajin. You would do best not to let that get to your head. He's always been our family's greatest shame. Hey, watch yourself. Haven't you learned not to underestimate the family's underdogs? What? Oh, you don't know. You see, I managed to talk to Shi Huajin into, you know. What? No, it can't be. Cannot have spilled the beans on my parents. My men are already on their way. But how did you know it was Block 32? I barely managed to get them into the hiding spot there. So it's Block 32. Did you just... I did. Huh. That was way easier than it was during class. I've heard stories about how you changed. I didn't know you had changed into such a heartless woman. Say something, damn it. Don't just stand there completely expressionless and... You won't be shaken by little things, silly things like this, is that it? That may befit the seat of Hierarch, however. A leader who responds with silence to their inferiors, a leader who considers them only disposable tools, is bound to rot. I, Shi Xijing, refuse to let someone so unqualified such as yourself retain power. This guy got bamboozled, crazy work.
조금씩 아픈
This is just watch the cutscenes play out, bro. There's nothing I can do anyways. Bang. Easy work. Damn it, I was so close. Did you ever really take the time to think about what might happen if Big Sister Yuan Chun actually gained control of Hong Yuan? Sure, it's gonna be all buddy-buddy at first. She's going to acknowledge the authority of the board of directors, butter you up, and compensate you for your efforts. But soon, you're going to see people from other nests coming in here and taking up administrative positions under the guise of advisors. And it's the small families and clans that are going to suffer first. And when that time comes, I bet you'll be saying the same thing then. I was so close. It's going to be a while before other members of their family are let go. You know this already. They committed treason, thinking they were piggybacking off of Big Sister Yuan Chun's forces, when in reality she had already discarded them before it even began. She just made sure that nothing about this treason is going to stick to her. Mother, father. Now, let's think about this carefully, about Jia Yuan Chun's vision for Dogwon Yuan. Will it be more H Corp or Q Corp? I see the point you're making. But you've not given us any reason to trust you either. What guarantee do I have that you won't just toss us aside when we're no longer useful? So about that hiding place, where you put your parents, you just accidentally let slip? I'd known their whereabouts for a while actually. My Heisho had identified their location long ago. But I didn't do anything because there wasn't any evidence that pointed to your parents' involvement. Is that true? Just how low is your opinion of the Hierarch, big brother? Yuan Chun made a big show of her own influence at the assembly, yet I still have a tight control over the Heisho of the family Hierarch. But thought you were arresting every member of the Shi family even without questioning them. What was that again? That leaders must take good care of those who are in the same boat as them. Why would any Hierarch go around arresting innocent people of H Corp left and right, unnecessarily making more enemies for themselves? I sure don't plan on doing that. TCOC. TKTDWK. Teaching kids to deal with kids, she says. Looks like your manager's not the only one who uses a translator. I would have liked to teach you a particularly bloody art class, but that AL back there discarded that AL black hair discarded my lesson plan. Yeah, no, I don't think your lesson plan would have flown even if Zilu wasn't there, artless or otherwise. Today's class, I'll slice your neck clean if you're a UA. But I'll CA and C if you're a UC. I'll snap your neck completely if you're an unruly adult. But I'll soothe, coax, and nurture you if you're an unruly child. Did you guys rehearse this or something? Am I getting pranked right now? No, not at all. Just listen carefully, evaluate the context, and there you have it. What context? What context was I supposed to evaluate? Let the art do the talking. MTL, kids. Oh yeah, there's much to learn. Class is about to begin. Bring the class material, attendant. Yes. Upon the venerable family hierarch's orders, I brought a child from the Wang family. Why is your... No, wait, what? You brought a who from a what family upon whose orders? Too many travel restrictions here, so I borrowed the rich kid's attendant. You've been bringing her along to get you to places, huh? No, I mean, what do you mean you brought a kid on my orders? She snuffed out her cigarette, opened the window to clear out the smoke, dusted off her clothing, and then brought the child to the elevated platform. The kid's kind of trembling and anxious looking. I extend my greetings to the venerable hierarch. That kid's scared out of his mind. Memories of childhood are important. They're the experiences that shape your future. Observe and learn. What's up with you acting so serious all of a sudden? Though I do agree that childhood memories are important. My memories with Big Brother Bao Yu are what? Anyways, moving on, you heard nothing. The point is, I think becoming approachable to kids might help prevent a lot of potential future conflicts. But you've got your work cut out for you. Children of Dagwan Yuan are extremely wary of anyone who's not their immediate family. Even worse, you pretty much tricked that kid here using my name. He must be terrified, and I imagine his parents must have given him a whole lot of warnings too. I'll give you a demonstration. Behold. Oh my god. Wow. That's crazy, Sinclair. Sinclair stat gain? Wow, he's really taking a liking to her. Yeah, he wouldn't stop crying when we tried to get him to calm down. Besides, how's she even doing that with her hands? Not even masters of martial arts move like that. Yoshi was practically giving him no time for any other distractions, or even a moment to cry. She was taking care of that kid almost effortlessly. She was employing all kinds of tactics, including, but not limited to, ventriloquism, Kongju, a traditional Hangyuan toy, fan tricks, sugared fruits, and eventually... Don't pull too hard. The child ended up piggybacking on Ryoshu. The fear he showed earlier gone without a trace. Never would have imagined Ryoshu would be good at this. Me. And with the same exact expression as her usual one, Ryoshu was gently caressing the child. Well, to be more exact, she was giving him a gentle pat. But I think I get it. Showering kids with tasty stuff and gifts isn't the best way to go about it. What's important is helping them understand just what kind of person I am. Yeah, the kid's really on edge for his age. I started to make some progress, but whenever he suspected I was lying or something, he'd immediately go back to being on guard. That's also because he's a Dagwan Yuan kid. Kids don't survive this place long if they're not quick on the uptake. Venerable Hierarch, may I ask you something? Well, asking's free, but I gotta tell you, it's going to depend on what you're about to ask whether I can help you or not. Wrong move, Rookie Hierarch. Why say all that when TWDT? You don't get that, the immaculacy of succinct abbreviations. Alright. It's like the KID is here. Speak. It's my big sis said that the family hierarch war is over. I can want to play with tons of friends. But their parents told them to stay inside because it's too dangerous outside. My cousin says you're the biggest and baddest of Hang Yuan, Venerable Hierarch. So I wanted to ask if you can make Dagwan Yuan safe. I want to play with my friends. Gotcha. I'll review your suggestion positively. She says she'll totally make that happen. You got a lot on your plate, huh? Dealing with restructuring days is just one of them. I was going to try and prove the safety of this place anyway, whether you asked me to or not. Safe enough for a kid like that to run around the market all on his own. A place where he doesn't have to be afraid to go outside. Hot box? I forgot they both... Oh wow. These are crazy. What the hell? I don't need Rin. I need more Yang. I need more Yang. Who's the younger? Probably just Gregor then. Okay. You know something? Everyone communicates with their eyes even before they talk. So, you better pay attention to what their eyes are saying. Great, that's really great, but I don't know, it just kind of feels like an oddly specific subject to be talking about, especially when we're sitting around a gambling table. Sinclair, given the time limit, this just happened to be the fastest and clearest method of demonstrating and training your abilities to control your emotions. I swear I had no other ulterior motive. I was practically forced to do this. Oh wait, stop glaring at us like that and join the table. I'm only briefly visiting my lady to pick up some paperwork. There's so much work to be done, I'll be leaving in no time. Come on, guy, you know this game needs 4 players. I refuse your invitation. I must say it's ridiculous for you to force my lady to to partake in such a base activity. And what audacity to invite me as well. Oh, so you think you don't have a chance, huh? Well, here I thought you'd be better than me at this game. Fine, I get it. Don't play a game you have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. It's a good philosophy. I subscribe to it. You seriously think your shallow, obvious attempts at goading me into playing this game will work? Huh? Sorry. What? Sorry, Scrub says what? Alrighty, the lesson's pretty straightforward. You three will work together to ensure I don't win this game. In other words, make sure I'm not number 1 by the end of it. Well, that seems easy enough. But be warned, I have the special power to read into your minds without hearing a word out of your mouths. Let me give you a demonstration. Let's see. Sinclair, I can see the corner of your lips twitching while your eyes are suspiciously wandering over there. You're looking to form a pink, aren't you? Oof. And Shi-Chun, you. And you want this dong tile I've got. Now I know to never ever discard this tile. How'd you know? Honestly, it would have been tougher for us to not know. You can let yourselves be anxious, sure, but don't ever let it peek through. The moment someone smells your weakness, they're going to eat you right up. In a way, you... using the glint of glasses to hide your eyes. This isn't gonna be easy. Your greatest mistake was allowing me to sit at this table. I already know that you're already hands you've got there. Oh, you do? Not bad. You're just as much of an open book, my guy. You just need that one Zhang tile, don't ya? Sorry, not sorry. You're not getting that tile, because it's not there. Gang. I see. You called Gang Meld so you can claim the Zhang, which was the rearmost tile, didn't you? Their aura, bro. They're aura farming. Does that by any chance imply you somehow know the location of every tile in this game? Nah, no way. I just have the sixth sense for bad vibes. Very well. Never once did I think you would ever step back into this dark world of shadows, but... Very well. I'll be setting this Hua aside and... I'm impressed. You're way too intense, I can hardly get involved. Isn't this supposed to be a class for us? Shh, my lady. The importance of this moment could not be overstated. I see. Swapped out your ready hand, didn't ya? What do you think? 3 Hua tiles in a row. I see you've got some innate luck too. Very well. I'll have to wager it all on this wand seed. Whew, I won. Hoo. That's a Qing Yao Jiu head. Your downfall was ruined the moment you forced me to discard Zhang. Oh darn, I lost that, huh? Well played. You see that, my lady? I apologize for that vulgar display, my lady. I will bring some tea. Why, Victoria stumbles out of the room with his shoulders slumped. Oh, the comedy duel. on. And I'm more out farming. Let's go. Okay, well, I toss these two in again. Omniscient reader's viewpoint? What the fuck? Master class. Oh my god, the Tianya sword, how to prepare for war. Okay, so I should stop doing the master. I should get everyone the master first to learn all this stuff. I'm already halfway done? Holy crap. It's already been 2 hours? Holy crap. I heard from Big Bro that you sent your coins to Big Brother Chiu. Every hand once in circulation goes around and round until it eventually returns to the original owners. I also heard that some of the Wang family helped with removing the foreign powers from here. Why? I only wanted to prevent this place from getting robbed blind. I live here, you know. This is where my wealth lies. Well then, can I ask for your public support? Oh, I applaud your audacity in thinking someone who just gave you the moon should be asked for the stars as well. Everyone and their mother knows in whose hands the true political power of Hongyuan lies right now. With that in mind, let's say I do announce my public support for you. I'm not going to have a voice to speak with by the time the powers that be are done with me. Look, Big Sis Yuan Chun genuinely believes that I'm not fit to be the family hierarch, then I'll happily remove myself from power. But she's affiliated with Q Corp. You seriously believe she has Hongyuan's best interests at heart? With all those conspiracies she's been weaving under the surface, all those business deals and clearly skewed policies? I do not. But if you're going to present yourself as the alternative, then you should have to be someone concrete enough to rely on. Let me just say that about half of the board of directors' votes may as well be considered abstaining votes. They're keeping their silence because they're afraid of Jia Yuanchun's retaliation. So, your remaining task is to convert those silent votes in your favor. Oh, not shaken by that at all, huh? I thought you'd get lost in wandering look in your eyes. I guess I'll have to work on my poker face. No, most people would have failed to pick that up. Certainly changed since the evaluation. Your growth shows a lot of promise. Maybe that's why he handed his coins over to you. Well, I guess that's not the only thing he handed over to you, I suppose. Hongyuan's tomorrow. Anyways, I should probably do as I'm told for now. My cousin will be your opponent today. I won't accept you as my hierarch just yet. Fight me and prove that you're at least better than I am. Only then I'll accept you. Scholarly
최고의
debates.
방책으로 전쟁이 일어나지 않게 하는 것.
Come on, bro.
조금씩 아픔.
Don't you know I have many more passives now? Like, how to prepare for war. Wow, that's good. Bursting strike. Where's the sword? Maybe I missed it. Oh yeah, the Tianya sword. Huh. Oof. She's finally looking like a hierarch.
동료를 포기하지 않아.
Ellipses. What? Do you have something to say to my face? Yeah, don't give my little brother your crap. Your little brother? You know who I'm talking about. Do you have any idea of the mess you left behind when you yoinked that kid away? That buzzcut kid was her little brother? You can barely even hold on to your seed, which you're about to lose soon anyway, and you have the gall to give him false hope? I know it's all just politics to you, but kids really believe you, you know. I heard from the kid that you seemed relieved upon hearing what I said. Told me you were happy for once to hear that he had a fun time, after being barred from playing with his friends and how things are in Hongyuan. Shut up. Besides, it's not all just hot air. I wasn't making empty promise when I said I would change Hongyuan to be a place where everyone can live without fear. For that, I'm going to protect my seat of power, no matter what it takes. You'll fail. Not with you on my side. We all know that Big Sister Yuan Chun's Hongyuan looked like. It'll be exactly the same in essence, and will be the same for the foreseeable future. Tell me, are you sure you're okay with handing over that same burden we've carried all of our lives to your little siblings? No, of course not. Heathcliff, the goat. Let's see. Who would Heathcliff even? Probably Ishmael, but I don't. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see here. They gave him a comically large hammer? Bro. Right, lads, listen up. This ain't going to be like them boring old classes you've been sitting through. You've got to leave the desk behind once in a while to learn some real life lessons, yeah? Right, so here's the deal. We're gonna break their morale before the brawl even begins. Brawl? Learn this by heart, and you'll be kicking those twats' arses left and right and center. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. So, Heathcliff, I've got to ask this question. Something about your club seems different today. Looks a lot more colorful too. Bollocks, lad. Catches on quick. That white bloke said something about how swinging around a real club might come off as too threatening and confiscated it. That high-tech weapon cries boop when it hits people. I see. Don't you underestimate me just because I'm holding a different bludgeon. Let's get on with it. Straighten your shoulders, eyes wide open, and let's get cracking. Jesus Christ. The skills are just improving. The old drunken... Wow. What is bro doing here? Something useful. This class will be taught by a guest lecturer who has been invited for your tutelage. A guest lecturer? I wasn't informed of this. Where are they? I don't know. Maybe they're lost. A little bird told me the venerable Hierarch will give me a bottle of top-notch cloudy wine straight from Dagwon Yuan's brewer. Ooh, is there any truth to that, folks? That guy. You're stopping by to see if I can leach some liquor at this party. Hong Yuan's an awfully miserly place. But you'd spare a shot of liquor for this poor old drifter, don't you? Won't you? Well, you're clearly not just any poor old drifter. Are you guys acquainted? He ambushed us in our room the first round of the family Hierarch war was over. He what? The family Hierarch war has been over for a while, and everyone in Hong Yuan knows who the winner is. How dare you, a mongrel of the... Looks like I'm going to have to give my client a stern talking to. How could they let slip a drunk assassin like me? I see that our youthful Hierarch is plenty suspicious. I've been a guest in many places, but please, I am no moocher. Put your worries to rest. I'm only a drunkard who enjoys a cool swig of liquor with the scenic landscapes in my bar as my bar, the sky as my ceiling, and the dirt as my bed. Night Drifter of the Drunken Palm. Is he seriously? Bad news, Miss Shi-chan. Apparently Jia Chun's bestowed upon you a new master. Huh? Big Sister Yuan Chun. She also wanted to deliver a message that she was thinking master because, and I quote, I feel a deep sense of trepidation and pity for my dearest little sister, the neophyte Hierarch, who must be struggling left and right without a proper master. Wow, I am beside myself with gratitude. So that's the supposed teacher, this mysterious guy with the mysterious allegiance who might stab us in the back at any time? As you said, the family Hierarch war is over, and even the mongrels of Hong Yuan know who has the legitimacy of... The incident during the contest was nothing more than business. A job to take care of in return for what compensation they gave me. I hope you don't carry that grudge in your heart. I'm sure you didn't harm your rivals in the family Hierarch war out of personal vendetta, did you? Sometimes business is just business. I killed young Master Bao Yu, for they promised to pay off my bar tab. And I'm here to give the Hierarch a lesson, for they promised to pay off my future tabs. There's nothing to be gained by taking your anger out on a gig worker living hand to mouth like myself, don't you think? I'll advise that the optics and the consequences of rejecting a master sent by Jia Yuan Chun herself is not going to look good. I know it's only gonna make me look worse. I'd rather not give Big Sister Yuan Chun more ammunition than take me down. However, our eye's tracking your every move, so don't do anything that might rouse unnecessary suspicion. Ain't that a threat? I can hardly taste the wine before such hostility. Before I begin the lesson, I'd like to get an idea of where my to-be pupils are. Now, give me a demonstration if you will. Swing away. That's enough. But I didn't. I was just getting started. Your form is flawed and your breathing is hollow. Need I see more? Flawed forms, often by flawed hearts. In other words, your martial prowess is amateurish. The heck is this guy serious? I've never had a single master who had anything bad to say about my form. Your arms were straight, and the legs supporting your stance were solid and sturdy. Indeed, most masters would not bother themselves to find fault there. But let me pose this question to you. Are you, my venerable pupil, satisfied with martial arts that are made to dispatch unskilled peasants and no more? Huh? There is more to this than raw strength. Now, take a swing at me instead. Alright, you asked for it. Your mind outpaces your body, your intent more transparent than a glass globe. And your edge is dull, for it has very little heart for feints. Bro, he's aura farming. You're far too eager to strike. Focus singularly on your opponent, with force distributed unevenly across your body. So you will fail to cut and gain a little hole as comeuppance. The first kill. Dang. Bedridden for a week. I'm gonna live like that, dumbass. Try to relax your body, won't you? You have a weapon, yes. But one mustn't singularly focus on the opponent. Do try to reflect upon yourself and relax. Let the unnecessary strength, let it flow out of your body. Tensing up as you do will naturally shrink your mind and narrow your vision. Should I send Big Bro a silver spoon or something? It wasn't bad this time, but if they gave him a way worse poison next time. You know, young Master Bao Yu won't accept your gift, my lady. I doubt he's even seeking the culprit right now. So stupid. Zero interest in anything practical. Zero ambition. What a silly, pathetic attitude to have. Just how? But my lady, it wasn't practically that guided. It wasn't practicality that guided you when chose to save my life over maintaining your control over the Wu branch. Some seek the state of anatta, the non-self, but what they seek is the path of Ashura, reserved for the likes of blade fiends. You must learn to let go of everything except for the self. What kind of life is it to live without stepping over others? Let it all go. The gazes, the pressures, all of it. Instead, face yourself and only yourself, and feel how light it all becomes. She's got it. Well, what should we do about you, my overconfident, proud pupil? Will you maintain your grave and cocky silence? I wasn't being cocky. My memories haven't failed me. You were one of Master Jiabu's Jia Baoyu's underlings, correct? Underling, yeah, if you want to call it, however you want to call it, I guess. Just why do you think it was that you, specifically you, among his 12 underlings, were chosen to take this class alongside the young Hierarch? Well, who else besides me would ever go along with these lesson plans? Don Quixote is going to dish classes out of boredom. Same goes for Raja, and Otis will try to take over the classes. Not to mention what it will be like to have Heathcliff here, and such a loquacious list of excuses. Struck a nerve, did I? How come you know so little about yourself, even less than what I have already learned about you? What are you talking about? A bird that has failed to break its shell in time will rot within its confines. I still don't understand what you're talking about. Prepare yourself to flit away before the rain. You won't get another chance should you miss the opportunity. Because he still has a lot to learn. Prepare to swing away. midterm. Damn, am I glad I got my head screwed back on. It's a precious sight to watch everyone all freaking out about this child's play. All the missed news I've been hearing since I opened my eyes in recovery room sounded very enticing. I really wish I was there to watch it all. Half of the family heads getting arrested for treason. The seat of the family hierarch going to some inexperienced kid from the Jia family. Not to mention how my lovely little sister had her engagement called off. How she's been branded as a traitor to her own blood. All the entertainment in the world seems to have happened during my little nap, don't you think? You didn't even show your face at the regular assembly, so I doubt you have any concern for the future of Hong Yuan. So just what are you doing here? I just thought I'd have some fun. Bro's just here for the vibes. That's crazy.
최고의 방책은
Shuipan.
전쟁이 일어나지 않게 하는 것.
Easy enough. Why stop now? Decapitate me like my last death, or stab me in the heart, cut my limbs to ribbons. Listen, this duel is just a spar, okay? We don't have to kill each other for this to end. Now isn't this frustrating? You have the opportunity of a lifetime right before your eyes and you're too weak to use it. You have everyone who fights you on every step of your way coming to you. Practically presenting their heads to you on a silver platter. You're just gonna let them slink away with these scratches. Get your act together. Family hierarch war is over. I'm not going to kill someone just because they're being a bit uncooperative. Get real. Do you have any idea how long it'll take for you to gain even a morsel of your power by playing this fool's game? Hey, want to hear a little tip on how you can firmly establish your position as a family hierarch? Kill me in the most horrible, painful, hideous way you can imagine. And hang my corpse by the entrance of that assembly hall over there. Use me to send a clear message. And station every single one of your Heishou packs between every pillar at the assembly hall. And if anyone dares to speak out against you, snip! Chop off their head before they can even get another word out. 5 days. It'll only take 5 days before everyone starts eating out of your hand. And that's how you establish yourself as a hierarch. Fear is power. No, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm here to make Hong Yuan a place where people can live without fear. I thought you of all people might understand. I remember how you used to hate hurting people, more so than anyone else. Man, what a boring answer. That was duller than even my dullest expectations. It'll only take a few years until you break, until you become just like them. Just like the family hearts of the past who couldn't help but ruthlessly weed out any seeds of resistance. Just how many people here do you think still have any grip on their sanity? Maybe I'm only a few years away from becoming an idiot, shuffling aimlessly around Dagwon Yuan. I can only hope that I won't be slobbering mess by the time that happens. Something's entertaining is gonna happen. I only hope it happens while I'm still sane. Dang. Excellent work, my lady. You're past the 4th exam with flying colors. You've certainly crushed them for underestimating you. I am... My lady? Sleepy time. 0 morale? Holy hell. My lady seems to be in a particular mood today. It's all useless, isn't it? Shi-chun? When these classes end and you guys all leave, guess I'll be spending my days worried to death that an assassin could pop up out of nowhere and kill me at any moment. Consumed by so much paranoia and worry that I'll start twitching at the shadows Consumed by so much paranoia and worry that I'll start twitching at shadows cast from lamplights. So would it mean anything for me to, prove to them that I deserve to be the family hierarch? I spent my whole life trying to prove to everyone that I had the will and determination to become the family hierarch. And now I have to prove to everyone that I deserve to keep it? To those bastards whose only thought in their empty heads is how they can expand their rooms? Mr. Wei, have you ever heard of playing hooky before? Playing hooky? Is it a euphemism for eliminating your enemies? Well, I've really done it back when I was in school, but when there's too much going on in your head, you just skip school and go out to play. Oh, I've only done it once myself after a friend talked me into it. I agree. Seems that the time for my lady to clear her head has come. Very well. Let's play just one hooky. What are you guys doing? Come on, let's get moving. I gotta prove myself, don't I? I gotta have those bastards' approval, don't I? He's in a really bad mood today, huh? Milady, have you visited the backyards of by the Lushui Hermitage as of late? No, but I know what happened there. They threw in a few dead bodies from the massacre a decade ago, turned the pond foul, and decided to bury the whole thing. Indeed, they did. The stench was so overwhelming and toxic that corpses of animals and plants could be seen floating on its surface, eventually turning the pond into a festering black bog. People passing by had to plug their noses or risk passing out. So why even bring up something awful like that? It seems that a tree had taken root there, my lady, amidst all that rot. A willow. The willow tree reached into the pond with its roots, clearing it of the foul grease, cleansing the water. And one day, we found it clear and glittering, thriving with other aquatic plants growing within. It's recovered from the rot, becoming a normal, clear pond surrounded by leaves and moss. Some months ago, they introduced a few carps in there, and when they checked again, they were just as vivacious as they were on their first day there. Would you like to pay the pond a visit, if it is alright with you? Shi-chan didn't seem to quite buy his explanation, but she followed him anyways. You weren't kidding! I've avoided this place for so long. Oh my god. I never thought it would be this clean again. I can hardly believe this pond used to be a rotten bog. All that happened was that this tree happened to take root here. What matters, my lady, is patience and determination. Of course, this place had slipped my mind then, as I was quite swamped with work, but the world has a stronger capacity to heal itself than one might imagine. Recovery will follow, as long as there is steady root to rally around. Nice, you're making good progress. Your form, the light in your eyes, I think you've certainly improved in all aspects. I dare say you've had some change of heart too. Yeah, I do feel a tad more comfortable than I did before. Oh, well, I just did all that. Well, it's fine. Master, okay. One more. Oh, it's mandatory. Mandatory class, huh? Right, class. Use a new task to help you learn a lot. Right, class. Use a task to help you lot learn how to break your enemy's morale. The moment you shrink in front of your enemy, you've already lost. So don't. It don't matter how many there are, or how threatening they look, yeah? Take me, for example. Have I ever turned tail and fled like some milksop, no matter what enemy we were putting up against? I don't think you ever have. Leave it to the nerds to waste time coming up with strategies and what have you. Listen, there ain't a problem in the world you can't solve by boldly rushing in head first. Ishmael and Otis would have boldly rushed in head first and shaken by his labels if you'd been there. If they'd been here. Here's what I think. Neither of you got enough pluck. That's why neither of you could say shite against those buggers back at the assembly hall, am I right? Jiashi-chun maintained her silence, so scarred her going forward again. So let me help you lot grow some backbone. Try getting mad at me. No need to shrink, lad. Stand proud. Well, okay, but how could I... Don't worry about offending me, yeah? I can take it. Unlike you two, I've built up enough thick skin for all kinds of insults thanks to my years in the backstreets. I'm bloody invincible. Yeah, well, shut up, Heathcliff. Good lad. You're hardly even a teacher, man. This class sucks. All you're doing is standing around and trying to look cool. Ooh, I only gotta sing a little. That's it, you little shite, is what I would have said back in the day. And I probably would have struck you with this hammer, I mean my club. But I've changed too. So did you. I can see that the fire in your eyes has grown. Remember this feeling, yeah? I will. Now, let's practice. It looks like both of you have the perfect sparring partner in each other. Grab your weapons, the both of you. Huh? You mean us? Me and Shi-chun? I grew my backbone by getting into fisticuffs with my boys during the Backstreets days. They break my arm, I break their legs in return. See what I mean? Is that what besties is supposed to mean? Well, let's do this, I guess. You don't want me to go easy on you, do you? I don't. We about to beat the shit out of each other. Oh,
중요한 건
come on, buddy.
내가 어떤
Oh,
사람인지
whoa.
알게 하는 것. 좋아, 구조를 파악했어.
Oh, I gotta
보안이
see Sinclair's
날개처럼.
skills. I should look at that real quick.
그 해결사의 역경을 비우면
Oh my god.
지도자라면 동료를 포기하지 않아.
Whoa. Hints. Oh my god. Growth. Downward slam is just all of his normal skills. I think. I don't know. Fixed panic. Determination. Whoa. These hints are going crazy. It's my first time I've seen this. Huh. Upon entering the stage, gain Shion. Okay. Turn start. If staggered, recover from stagger, then gain a sign. Huh. Oh, whoa. Okay. It's cool. Every skill. Oh my god. It's a sign. It's a clear sign. Alright, that's good enough. Bloody hell, lad. That was much closer than I thought. Good match. Jeez, don't most people usually lose steam the longer fights get? What the heck was that at the end? It wasn't using an identity. Oh my god. What the hell? You're right, Sinclair? Yeah, it's not like we were going at it with real weapons. And the fight ended before it got any further, thankfully. So I'm not hurt or anything. I'm feeling a bit of a fever on my forehead, though. Considering that oh my god, the only other people who'd ever shown that mark, I couldn't help but worry. Hey, you ever run away from home before? Where's this coming from? I mean, by the way it's acting, by the way you're acting, it's clear you're a homebody, but there's something behind your eyes that tells me your life hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. I wouldn't call it running away from home, it's more like I left home. Because I didn't have a choice. How did that feel? Like I was melting away into nothing. I suddenly had to face the whole terrible world all on my own. That was so overwhelming that, well, I'm sure you can't quite commiserate. You've been on top of your game your whole life after all. I did leave Dagon by my own volition, but if I'm being honest, and here's something I never told Wei, I felt unutterably lost. There was so much I had to do, so much responsibility. I guess neither of us were ready for the world when we left home. I feel just as lost back home though. There's Heathcliff too. He also left home some time ago. He paid a visit to the manor he grew up in. Getting home must have been pretty exciting for him. You have no idea how much of the journey he spent gussing up and pripping up his hair. Something just came up. Class dismissed. Oh my god. They don't know about Catherine. So, are you going to teach us any techniques? Only been a few days since your training began yet. My other martial arts masters would teach me their secret techniques. So, that's what got you two pouting all lesson? Ooh, that's some good wine. Very well, I'm in the mood. Let me teach you a useful trick. Tell me, what did I teach you as you swung your sticks? Forget all those things that put pressure on me. Face nothing but myself and my movements. And that's only the start of it. First, emptiness of sound. It's like friction from the tips of your toes to the rough of your curls, your breaths. Erase them all. Erase every ripple and echo you leave upon this world. Second, emptiness of form. To have a form is to provide your foes with clues to predict your next move. Forget the weapons in your hands. Forget your structured forms. Break the mode. Become the flow. Let only your will remain. Dang. Last, emptiness of mind. Try not to force the direction of your heart. Empty your desires and intentions both. Stab without thinking. Penetrate without gazing. Immerse yourselves to make sure your descent is slow and gradual. We've been focusing entirely on the self with your swings thus far, so you should find it quite easy to reach a state of emptiness of mind. What technique is this? It's all just movements at the end of the day. I find it entirely unnecessary to give them those flashy names. A truly secret technique should come without one. It's still supposed to be our ultimate move, right? Wouldn't it be more official to give it a name? Well, in that case, that's some good wine. I'll go with something like Plastered Sleep. Unrestrained movie ripples? That name sucks. Been a while since I saw someone give a lesson like this, starting from its very fundamentals. Hardly can one find people willing to slowly learn from the very fundamentals in a world of infinite technological advancements, like the Veil. I am only fortunate enough to have found two pupils who are indeed willing. Your gait, your tone. Were you among the 10 blades of the East? Now, it seems entirely unnecessary for you to dig. I don't recall putting everything on your tab. Anything on your tab. Put your futile questions to rest, for I have no answers to give. The past is like smoke. I've long emptied any history worth delving into. Well, I'm supposed to teach this class, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure what to do here. It's not like I can suddenly teach you guys to hear the fathoms of other people's hearts. Yeah, it's not like we can suddenly have a heart-to-heart out of nowhere, right? And that is precisely why I've installed this box called Messages from the Hearts by the door here when the lessons began. Messages from the Hearts? The greatest strength of Messages from the Hearts is its anonymity. Here, people can honestly share the concerns they've been eating away at them without the fear of judgment. Yeah, it seems like a great idea. I can see how everyone can be more honest with their feelings behind the mask of anonymity. The box is quite heavy. It seems that everyone's been making quite liberal use of this. Let's see, the one on the bottom has to be the first message. Let's see what it says. Oi, I've gotta ask, do those consultations even do anything? Does this mask of anonymity even do anything? Also, what's the point of these messages anyways? If you've got to whinge at their face. Anyways, I ain't got much to say. I've got one. My neighbor next door keeps making weird noises at night, so do something about that, yeah? Something about a smoking head over and over again. The point is, it's been getting on my nerves. If that doesn't get taken care of in a week, I'll deal with it in my own way. Deal with it how? It's all just personal grievances. Let's see what this next one says. Who dares herald the executive manager with such useless, weak-minded complaints? If you're going to continue wasting the executive manager's precious time and cause them trouble, I will personally hold you accountable for that blunder. You best prepare yourself for your consequences. Wow, it's like she's right here, speaking into my ear. Never thought written words could cause hearing damage. I don't know if it's just me, but someone's probably been spying on these papers, huh? I've got proof too. I followed this piece of paper up into a padlock knot shape. Whoever spied on it did a pretty bad job of replicating it. Oh, and another thing, my compass disappeared. It's the compass I got for surviving the hellish depths of the Bellamort trenches. We're going to have to reestablish some house rules soon. Theft report? Did one of you steal her compass or something? No way. We never steal from each other, no matter how hard things get. Something troubles me. Finally. Was it the Type A wire that caused the explosion? Or was it caused by replacing the clamp part from the shattering gear? Well, the likely answer has been found. Do not concern yourselves with this message. Well, that's that, I guess. Look, I feel like I should share this. Can't just let this slip away like nothing happened, you know? I'm talking about the incident that happened aboard Mephi some time ago. Remember how someone smashed an alarm clock against Dante's head when they were sleeping? No one ended up figuring out what happened there, right? You're going to have to bring me up to speed on this. I don't know exactly when this happened, but a loud chattering noise at night. So we ran out to see what happened. No one managed to find any credible clues, so I guess we just let it slide? Dante said they were okay, so we just moved on from it, but I'm telling you, I saw what I saw. I saw Greg's bug arm. So here's my guess. What if he happened to lose his balance while carrying that alarm clock with one hand? You know what I mean? I'm trusting Eminem is thinking on this. Gregor, he wouldn't. Your alarm clock, broken due to shock at the time of the incident, was pointing precisely at 22:32. And at that hour, only 2 individuals were awake for night watch. Guys, it's turning into like a whole investigation. Run 22. Miss Faust? Oh my god. Alright, think back on it. I did have a talk with Faust. Faust made a few criticisms on my command style, but she was right. I pretended not to hear her because I didn't have anything to retort with. Don't tell me Faust actually held a grudge against me for that. I don't think anyone's noticed this, but I noticed a dusting of cigarette ash near the shattered alarm clock. As you know, Manager Bud, there's only 2 among us who smoke. But one of them stayed put in his own room. You know what I mean? There's a witness too. Unless that witness is a cowardly liar, I'm sure she will come forward and tell everyone exactly what happened that night. I shall prove unto thee that I am no cowardly weaver of lies. In truth, among numerous cosplays I wish to accomplish, was the duo of Captain's Corpse and the One-Eyed Navigator. And to explain the lore of Captain's Corpse, this tale beginneth verily in the year 757. The possibility of procuring a scorpion arm proved more dubious, thus I convinced young Gregor to join forces with me to cosplay together. And young Ishmael's compass had to be the captain's trinket, and for that purpose I'd only briefly borrowed it from her room. Woe is me if I regretfully spilled an entire can of tuna, another prop, and the compass was swallowed by its greasy juices. Oh my god. Well, I guess we know who took Ishmael's compass. Frustrating. TC, GWNN, and MTL. It's like a code? Sinclair? Yeah, trying to parse that from written text is usually way harder. Only try to read the speaker's tone in general context. Guys, are we going to try to find the culprit? Oh my god. Alright, that's it. Clockhead, read up. I'm going to confront this thought and tell him to tell it like it is if there's something bugging him instead of grinning in his sleep. Now where is he? Nice, I mean, looks like this anonymous person is trying to get to the bottom of this. Dante. Fare you well, 'tis I, the sinner and first in the order. Apologies are in order. Ever since the incident, I could hardly lull myself to a restful sleep. In truth, it was none other than myself who pummeled your head with a clock. To explain this, I must first explore the... Or not, that exists no longer. We'll not embark on a multiloquent ascribing of excuses. Right before you in shame, express my willingness to accept any punishment you see fit to dole out. I seek nothing but your forgiveness. I can't believe the culprit was that sinner. What if he's trying to take the heat? Seems like to me like the number one sinner doesn't want to share the story any further. Maybe it's best we don't dig into it. Hello, Dante. I was taking a walk here when I found a piece of paper someone tore off, so I'm returning it. Hope it finds its way to the original writer. The truth of what transpired. You ever find yourself wondering if that crackling fire-like thing on top of the manager's head is hot like real fire, or if it would not give off any heat? Curious, right? Don't worry about it, he's saying. It's not like we have any other way to tell other than touching it ourselves. Indeed, unproven phenomena cannot be confirmed without direct means of observation. And they're in sleep, must have been pretty tired. Indeed, the ticking noise has shrunk in volume. It seems that we have just shared a thought. What if we were to just quickly check? While the manager's asleep. Perhaps the sound of plums shrinking past my gullet makes far too much noise for this task. I'm just finding out how loud my heartbeat can get. Yi saying? There's an alarm next to the manager. It's about to go off. You have a minute at most. I shall interface with the timepiece. Look at you rats, playing a played-out prank. Arr! That is indeed the full tale of what has transpired. Under the lens of hindsight's illumination, it would almost appear that I am making a secret accusation to a fellow of mine. It would be easier on my heart to simply assume the entire weight of culpability myself. And that's where it ends. The culprit was right under our noses the whole time. Sorry, Dante. I should have been upfront about it, but Otis was so adamant about utterly punishing the culprit I couldn't bring myself to, you know? Can't deny that. Tell you the truth in time. To tell you another truth, I think I might have an idea as to why I've been made a student alongside Miss Yi-chun. It must have been something that the company was expecting from me, but it's not showing up, so they must be making me take these classes to compensate for it. Everyone else is boldly facing their own issues and slowly overcoming them, while I'm still here, feeling like I'm stagnating in place. They've been telling me that my time's yet to come, but I don't know. I just get the feeling the ship might have sailed for me already. It's clear to me that Sinclair wasn't just talking about physical training or his combat prowess. It was something more than half the sinners had faced and were facing at this point. About his past and the path that lies ahead. The guilt and the pressure of having failed to confront it. Was never going to be easy for him to let go. I don't think anyone's got the perfect idea of how the whole trajectory of their lives is going to be. That's why we're all on the bus, isn't it? You know, you can just shout at me to get my act together, like Heathcliff does. Oh, I will, if I have to. Whatever that was, you guys managed to talk it out, huh? All I heard was that ticking noise. Sorry about that. What Dante said was, hey, don't bother, I just need a quick glance at your face to feel that tick-tock with my heart. So, what do you guys think Ryoshi was trying to say? Two culprits. Guy with nightly nightmares and my translator. Wow. Last day? 1 month? Who? It would be those two. Okay. What it needs is kindness. Finally, the 30 days of lessons were completed, and the day of the final exam was upon us. Everyone came out to bid good luck to Jia Yi-chun on her way to the final exam. My lady, I have nothing but absolute faith you will be able to complete this final exam just as excellently as you have all the others. It is most likely you will be facing off against a skilled foe from either the Jue or the Shi family. Of course, you will doubtless wipe the floor with them. I have taught you all that I know. I hereby give you permission to leave this boot camp. You got this, Shi-chan. Guys, you really didn't have to come all the way out here to see me off. Still, I have undying faith that you will emerge victorious, my lady. However, Zigong and I have also prepared about 21 alternative solutions in case things go awry. So please, don't worry yourself too much. You have faith in me or not? Ooh, Bao Chai. Been a while since we last saw Bao Chai. I was doing a regular assembly. What are you doing here, Miss Big Sister Bao Chai? I couldn't stop myself from paying you a visit. Our blossoming years would have been peaceful still. Big sis, please stop talking to me like that. I didn't even know you could say such a thing. Bao Yu, it has always been this way. If a fruit has fully ripened, we have to seize it and taste its juices before anything else. We can't just let go. We can't stand emptiness. My brother couldn't. My parents couldn't. But you, who was born and raised on the very same soil we were. How do you walk so softly, so lightly? I don't. My footsteps are no longer light. Every step, every sight I hold in my eyes as the days go by fills me with abundance. I'm only trying to accept everything as it is, without asking for more or less. But how could one do nothing but watch? We're surrounded by such fragrance. What more do you seek, big sis? I want to be closer, that my hands may reach you. Have you already forgotten who had sent you that guest lecturer? Shi-chan's palanquin isn't headed to the exam site, is it? No, it's not. It's headed to Big Sis Yun-chan's exam site. Blasted scoundrels! Scoundrels. I must hasten after the palanquin. If I lose track of them... A trap, huh? Fella, shouldn't we also get going? Calm yourselves for a moment. It's been too long since the palanquin has departed. It is better to move based on concrete evidence, not urgency. Though, a beast seems to have chosen the latter. So, this is what you've chosen. Yes, the exams she's taken thus far were all meaningless lies. I could have shared this earlier, but I decided to follow my own heart, as you have decided to follow yours. Huh. So now, what fragrance do you smell from me? I smell nothing. What the hell? That's it. The class is over. A terrible jest, Jia Yuan-chuan. A terrible jest Jia Yuan-chun plays, down to the very last day. Too much time has passed already. I've already given her clan, including Wei, instructions to keep their eyes on the palanquin, as I observed much strangeness from the palanquin bearers. Yet there are many places to which one may covertly kidnap the family hierarch. Still, we have to... Your heart is still in a rush. I do not mean to imply that we will abandon her to her fate. Look, I have selected a few places on the map with the highest probabilities of being their destination. As time is not on your side, the Heisho packs in your team will have to mobilize separately. Amongst them, I'm to send you toward this place. Indeed, the glorified interment camp of Hangyuan, now shut down. Ping'an Residential Support Zone. It is policy Jia Yuan-chun and the former Jia Mu pursued. The policy was indefinitely tabled and the zone was closed off, as many voiced reluctance to pass it, but I find it hard to believe that Jia Yuan-chun would admit defeat so easily. It is a secluded place, perfect to secretly bring harm to the family hierarch, not to mention the symbolic value it carries. I hope she's okay. Have some faith in your pupil. You have taught her the best of your abilities, have you not? I trust that she will be able to fend for herself until our arrival. Yeah, we trained really hard for the entire month. The only reason Jia Yuan-chun would employ such under-the-table tactics is because she knows that a fair match would not be in her favor. So let us yank her hand out from under the table and make her regret it. We hurried ourselves along the winding passages of Hangyuan. At first I thought we might have been able to move faster had the Mephistopheles been here with us, but walking through the winding irregular paths reminded me of why palanquins were a thing in Hangyuan. Oh, already. Upon our arrival at the location Zigong pointed out to us, something emerged from the dark. A figure, no, two, four. A small platoon of shadows. Damn it, we're surrounded. The shadows slither into physical form, lapping their purple serpentine arms at us. Sea branch of the Heisho packs. They don't belong to the family hierarch. Boy, what now? What do you mean, what now? We can't just sit here and waste any precious time. Come on, let's find our way out of this ambush. Is that usually my thing to suggest? Fighting's all about morale, huh? Looks like the classes did have some effect. Sinclair's right, we don't have any time to waste. The sea branch, huh?
내가 모르는 장치가
오케이.
있었나? 아니면 참가상이 뭐라도 했나? 너희가 이기기까지 걸리는
striker.
시간이 단축되고 있네.
Shade Striker. It's just Deathrite Venom. They do poise, rupture, nothing too crazy.
이 옷은
거쳐.
드라이버를 안 가지고. 이제
Slim
끝났네.
pickings.
너희들이 원한 대로 된 거 맞지? 아 여기저기. 내가 모르는 장치가 있었나? 아니면 참가상이 뭐라도 했나? 너희. 이제 끝났네.
Easy work.
너희들이 원한 대로 된 거 맞지?
The first thing I noticed upon entering the room was that it was hot and muggy with the heat of battle, also evidenced by the corpses of the sea branch Heisho torn wildly about the room. Who's that? Wei? The bloodied beast rises ponderously from the ground, its gaze rising to meet ours. Wait, Wei? Hold on, his eyes. Something's definitely off here. He's not looking at us, he's... Away with you. What happened here? Did the Heisho make it into the exam hall? Limbless snakes dare trespass? Your hideous coils. I will crush them to mulch under my hooves. You're Wei, right? He's completely lost it. I'll ground your filthy scales to dust. Okay, we have Wei.
내가 모르는 장치가 있었나? 아니면 참가상이 뭐라도 했나? 너희가
Look at these
이기기까지 걸리는
hints.
시간이
Oh.
단축되고 있네.
Okay. Encounter start. He's a negative point. Strider Wu. Oh my god. It's all about defense. If he has Strider Wu, inflict concussion. Whoa, that's crazy. Okay. Huh. Okay. If it has Strider Wu, gain recoiling. If this unit's recoiling, stack his max and consume all of it and then lose. Okay, so you want him to lose that. The main target. All these being negative points is kind of scary, but
이 앞에 숨지는 자 누구 하나 살려보내지 마라.
what to do about it?
틈을 끊어.
정상값이네. 사실 그 상황에선 그런 공격밖에 고를 게 없었지, 그치?
It's unlucky.
그러니까 지금부터 너희들이 싸운다.
불가 위야. 막아내지 못할.
This is not gonna be good.
빨간 경보는 진짜 오랜만에 보는데? 이건 예전에 유로지비 사람들이 우리 회사 입구에 폭탄을 던지고 갔을 때 이후론 처음인데? 그때 경비들이 엄청 다쳤거든. 너도 엄청 다쳤겠다.
무슨 술술해.
So much damage.
짧기도 하지.
죽은 거야? 뭐 너희 참가상이
Bang, bang, and game.
이제 깨우치시게.
You know, a good try way. You kind of took out a few of my
이제
guys at the
끝났네.
start, but
너희들이 원한 대로 된 거 맞지?
then you got reset to
아,
0
여기저기
SP.
부서진 것 같은데 저건 우리 직원들 시켜서 고쳐야겠다. 수리 대금도 받고 시민들도
So
금방
truly not that
편해질 테고.
hard.
어? 나도 뭔가
Hey, are you alright? My lady's... she's in there. Please, you must... Listen, buddy, you're not looking so good. That nasty wound Lei Heng gave you starting to bleed again. Jiaxi Chun's HO will be here soon. Stay here and wait for their arrival. Don't you worry about a thing, Mr. Wei. Shi Chun's going to be just okay. Totally. Did you forget who taught her? If only she hadn't chosen me, then she could have achieved such heights. She could have risen much higher than where she now stands. Wei's eyes shook restlessly, lost in the streams of past. Don't you know this already, Mr. Wei? Shi Chun became the Hierarch to transform Hong Yuan into a nest that serves its lowest. It was you? Your big sister Yuan Chun's final exam? If you're going to kill me anyway, why didn't you just take me out from the get-go instead of wasting all that time teaching me, pretending to be my master? I would hardly deem the hour spent in joyous waste, would you? Well, I'm not even surprised. Daguan Yuan's full of backstabbers anyways. Do not ever trust anyone who approaches you first. There's a saying that has saved a lot of lives in Hong Yuan and the city. Normally, those types of people would wait until my guard is down to strike. You had plenty of opportunities to kill me during those classes. I gotta say, I've got a bit of my edge when I was swinging those sticks. One who hired me handed me along with my payment a silken bag of dried wolfsbane powder. So you were hired to poison me? Why didn't you? Why would I use that to claim my pupil's life, when I could use it to pay off my tab and buy me a few bottles of quality wine at a local Kajian? Which I did. They're precious enough to sustain 3 generations of family, eh? What? My life has thus far been one of rivers and footpaths, drifting hither and thither as the currents took me, a meaningless life of having gained nor left behind nothing. And wouldn't you know it, this kid who just become the next hierarch, for the first time in the history of the family hierarchs I'd seen, refused the true master of Hong Yuan. Those with the vision for the future of Hong Yuan would grip the land as though it belonged to them. And Hong Yuan, trapped in the grasp of a series of intrepid individuals, grew dark and suffocating. The other people, who initially seemed to have been included in the lessons as nothing more than extra, may as well have forced the lessons out of me. And after a while of frolicking with the bumbling hierarch and a particularly nasty pupil, it seems that I shared all that I know with the both of you. Hey, despite the present circumstance, my lessons have all been without a speck of falsehood. Come, then, never once have I taught a pupil who would fall at such a place. And if you do, I don't suppose you're a pupil of mine anyways. Okay.
중요한 건 내가 어떤 사람인지 알게 하는 거. 좋아, 구조는 파악했어.
내가 모르는 장치가 있었나? 아니면 참가시 저 끝까지 들어가서 아는 거라.
이제야
나 이거 참
완성되었네.
이제 끝났네. 너희들이 원한 대로 된 거 맞지? 아 여기저기 부서진.
최고의 방책은 전쟁이 일어나지 않게 하는 것. 나는
Jesus Christ.
동료를 포기하지 않아.
Shi-chun! Now that's impressively sneaky. So, they're not the beasts of Hangyuan for nothing, eh? They just had to get between me and my pupil's spar. Master, wait, you've been working for Jia Yuan Chun the whole time? Haven't you known me long enough by now to tell? Brief as our acquaintance has been, my service is to no one but the bottle. To have all 12 masters squeezed into battle when things were just starting to get interesting is quite discourteous, don't you think? Yeah, and a master stabbing his pupil in her back isn't? Oh my god. Haven't already given you due complaint, my friends. No, that's some potent venom. I can feel it spreading in my veins. Listen here, snakes, haven't I done you courtesy enough? Go back to your holes. I'll even give you an excuse you could give to your lord. Say you have to withdraw as a knight of the drifter. We serve the same client. Might as well let me take all the blame for your failure. Fine, I didn't think you listened to someone who doesn't even hold your leash. Too bad, too bad. Well, I guess this should at least make for a fairer fight with all her teachers being here and all. I don't recall ever teaching you to make a face like that, not in front of an enemy. At least my pupils know what she's talking about. Perhaps I shall open myself a humble wuguan here in Hongyuan once this contract is over.
중요한 건
내가 모르는
내가
장치가
어떤
있었나?
사람인지
아니면
알게
참가상이 뭐라도
Okay,
했나?
everyone's here.
너희가 이기기까지 걸리는 시간이 단축되고 있네.
Shi-chun's gonna take care of everything. So I just gotta survive everywhere else. The fight's probably over when Shi-chun dies, right? Cause you know. Or maybe she just retreats.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 치워버리죠.
So broken.
토끼, 저 해충들을 도려내라.
There's the rooster.
혈염도 바로.
Oh my god.
정상값이네. 사실 그 상황에선 그런 공격밖에 고를 게
이런
없었지,
일에
그치?
흔들리면 안 돼. 숨통 끊기.
This is fine.
물러나라. 네 목숨은 아직 따로 쓸 곳이 있다. 적을
어이구,
물어뜯고
너희가 결국
너희의
저 녀석을
쓸모를
완전히
보여라.
정지시켜버렸어. 뭐?
So strong.
토끼를 본다. 저 해충들을 도려내라.
틈을 끊어. 바로
묘여. 길을 열어라.
어이구,
누구도 아닌
너희가 결국
나
저 녀석을
자신을
완전히
드러내야
정지시켜버렸어.
불가 위야 막아내지
무.
못하리.
무형.
Oh,
마지막은 무념.
hoo, damn. She actually just fucking pulled it off. That's crazy. Don't fuck with the roosters, buddy. Maybe you can, never mind.
친히 목을 떨궈주마.
Dang. Oh, oh, buddy, you don't know what mistake you just made.
틈 끊어. 바로 이
He was certainly a powerful foe, despite the casual way in which he carried himself. We'd already experienced a hint of his strength then, when he invaded our room during the family Hierarch War, and swiftly took out his target before relieving. There are slithering noises coming from above. More hay show. We can't fight him and the sea branch off at the same time. But if we were to try to create a distance between us where the sea branch are waiting to strike us, the Night Drifter will definitely try to exploit that opening. Considering that we had to keep Shichen safe, I wasn't sure how much longer we could hold out here. It's hard to recall your training outside our lessons. Remember, that your gaze is for him as well. Your enemies will take notice if you don't stop constantly eyeing at the door like a novice. See, the snakes have already mobilized to close off that exit. You're stalling until the Heisho packs of the family Hierarch arrive. Your strategies and thoughts are plain as day. I see, that's why. These snakes are so impatient to complete the deed and slink back to their holes. Produce another tree branch and cast it before the doorway. Oh my god, it instantly crumbled. I thought I'd given you snakes enough warning to head back. What are you doing? Why? The bumbling Hierarch promised to bring a real change to Hong Yuan has given rise to a certain intrusive thought that was put to sleep long ago. Once upon a time, a blade fiend of an infamous syndicate earned himself the hollow honor of joining the Tin Blades of the East. Yet, what use is all that if he could not stop his little girl from passing on before her old man on a restructuring day? The world averted its gaze from me, so I looked away in return. Leaving behind my rooms, my steel, I picked up a simple tree branch to be my sole companion as I drifted about the city. When I abandoned both honor and name, all that remained was a life of living for the sake of living, nothing more. And I believe the same fate would doubtless come for the rotten land of Hongyuan as well, just as it had for this useless drunk, devouring in the surging darkness as the sun falls yonder. Yet, doubt reared its head for the first time. It is the rooster's cry that signals the night's end. Do you see? The sun rises, even in Hongyuan. Listen well, for your final lesson begins. Emptiness of sound. Keep the venom within, and let it not leave your tongue. Emptiness of form. One who aims to bring change to these lands must do so without the knowledge of curmudgeons too logged in wicked traditions to see a better path. Emptiness of mind. In Hongyuan, a land where even the sky lies out of sight, don't let your mind be too transparent. Do not let the Heisho stray your presence again. Not even for a moment. Rule of fear is a detestable thing again indeed. Yet you will gain nothing by appearing like an easy mark. Yes, master. Then, do what you must. It won't be very becoming of the Hierarch of Hongyuan to let live a very... It won't be very becoming of the Hierarch of Hongyuan to let live a fellow assassin who dared to make an attempt at her life. Very good. Emptiness makes for such a pleasant sight, doesn't it? When did she learn this skill? She doesn't know it. What am I talking about? Dang.
무형. 마지막은 무념.
Wouldn't be right if it ended there, but I suppose. Oh. Taking the last drink of his life. Dang. The night drifter stumbled. He smelled a pungent, bitter wine. The unseethed dregs of old cloudy wine settle, and the bitter life is left behind. The clear, crisp water shall spring forth, twinkling under the sun's simplicity. The incident was quickly swept under the rug as independent actions of an anonymous, unaffiliated assassin, only known as the Night Drifter. As he was not registered to any kind of life insurance plan, his body was buried among the many unnamed graves of Hong Yuan. I hear that there was a rather unsavory incident at the most recent exam. I must say, it is fortunate that no important blood has been spilled during it. A nameless, faceless man infiltrating the living quarters of Dagwan Yuan. I can only be glad that he met the deserved fate. Anyone who was at the site could attest to the fact that my guest and I were assaulted by Heisho's sea bridge as well. If anyone's going to be held responsible, don't you agree that the blame should fall squarely on whoever decided to send the snakes to that particular location at that specific time, Big Sister Yuan Chun? Is that so? Did they testify that their presence was only to eliminate the Drifter of the Night who dared sneak into Dagwan Yuan? Earlier than your own Heisho pack even. Yeah, not only did you get me a new master, and your impatience to see my growth, ask that same master to harm me. You certainly outdone yourself, sister. It was nothing more than a boorish executioner of Hong Yuan who was willing to do anything for money. I hope you won't be blaming your dear sister for the crime that man has committed independently out of his own volition. Shi-chun, I believe this only reinforces my argument that the people of Dagwan Yuan aren't the only people here who believe that you are terribly out of your depth for the task. But Yuan Chun, I've learned so much thanks to you. Rest assured, I won't ever forget those lessons. I understand that many of you may be unhappy or frustrated with me, but you know what's an undeniable truth? That I am still the legitimate victor of the family Hierarch war. Sure, Big Sister Yuan Chuan might know more about the details of Hong Yuan's administration for now. She might fill your pockets for now, but in the long run, you know she does not have Hong Yuan's best interests. But in the long run, you know she does not have Hong Yuan's best interests. But in the long run, you know she does not have Hong Yuan's best interests at heart. Inadequate I may be, but I am still the chief executive director here at H Corp, and you, dear big sister, are a temporarily visiting outsider from Q Corp. As its hierarch, I know exactly what Hong Yuan needs. I'll give the best of my efforts to bring my vision for this land to reality. A place where no one needs to live in fear. A place where one does not need to project fear. Yes, that is my vision for Hong Yuan, for H Corp. Never would have known a month ago that our hierarch had such vast ambitions. She's really saying it. The four great houses and I, we ruled and knew this land like the back of our hands before you were even a fetus. Indeed, I can tell. I suppose that's why Dagwan Yuan's growth never seemed to stop, while more and more people outside it seem to be falling to their deaths from their homes with every restructuring day. Don't you know the plastic nature of humanity? People will get used to the shadows when the heavens are shrouded. So, if you won't cooperate with us, we will. No, I'm not the one who needs to cooperate. I am the hierarch. Besides, your us is done. Respected members of the board, I believe I have clearly explained my will. Forget about all your under-the-table deals, and vote with your hearts. You seem very confident, Shi-chun. In case you didn't know, winning those exams has nothing to do with guaranteeing the result of the vote of no confidence. Oh yeah? I don't know. At this point, the vote seems like a mere formality to me. On what grounds? Just a hunch. Not that you'd understand. It's true. With how often she's changing the conditions of these tests and votes, we can hardly trust her to be consistent. That is indeed in stark contrast with the Hierarch, who promised 30 days of return time and met it precisely on the dot. It's clear which one of them should provide more stability for administrative purposes. Thus the vote of no confidence began. I must have misjudged her in the past. She's not pretty. She knows when to be serious, and I think she's got a good grip on the gravity of war without being consumed by the fear of it. And she remembered my name. With her eloquence, strategic prowess, and boldness, I believe that the current family hierarch is well qualified for her position. I also have faith that she will not ill-treat those of lower station than her. If she's got the handle of how to treat the heart of the smallest child, then I believe she has the capacity to tend to the hearts of those larger as well. While I would be remiss to judge so quickly, she has shown remarkable change and improvement over a short period of time. I say she is someone of rare talent we mustn't lose so easily. Shi Xijing, Shi Huazhen, Wang Xiao, and Wang Qingshan. Omitted. She's been at the center of all kinds of fun, entertaining events in the world as I lost and gained my neck. Just think about the amusement she'll bring as a family hierarch. Even Shui Pan, who shared his sentiments via a letter, voted against the motion of no confidence. Like I said, a mere formality. A state of crisis specifically refers to a situation in which the family hierarch is unable to perform their duties, or is affected by serious physical or mental impairment. I am both sound of mind and body, and I can handle all duties appertaining to the seat of family hierarch. Which means that your services are no longer needed here. Not that they ever were, big sister. Don't you think you've more than overstayed your welcome by now? Here I was, wondering what you were doing with this ragtag group of half-wit nobodies like your brother. I suppose you didn't spend the whole month lounging around. Very well, savor this little victory for a while. I understand that it was a significant endeavor for you to attain it. Be safe on your way home, big sister. And please, do watch your health. You've always been a sickly child come winter, haven't you? Remember that. The only way is down once you reach the peak. There goes the perfect opportunity to take control of Hong Yuan. But our time shall come. Hong Yuan without the Xian Huang worm will fall behind and get crushed under the wheels of progress. Then, nothing. Bao Yu said that he smells no fragrance from you anymore. Don't let that linger on your heart, little Bao Chai. Crawling in the muck alongside those lowly plebeians must have dulled with his senses. Am I even useful to you anymore? Oh, you won't come back. I can't make him come back. I understand that now. At least not. Come with me to Q Corp. Huh? But even my own family has cast me out. What could I possibly do? Have I not given you my word that I can make him return? The strategies of old say that one must stir trouble in the east to strike from the west. Now that trouble has stirred in H Corp, they will hardly have the wherewithal to fix their eyes upon the goings of Q Corp. When the time comes, your fragrance shall spread beyond H Corp to Bao Yu. And I trust that he will never sit idly by when danger threatens Jia Shi-chun. But I have nothing. Poor little Bao Chai. Even you are blinded to the shadows cast by your own lamplight. Allow me to illuminate what use you may be to me. Worry not. I am your only remaining light after all, aren't I? You are. With Shi-chun watching us with an oddly bashful look, we prepared for our departure from Dagwan Yuan. Given that Mephistopheles still showed no signs of ever coming back, it seemed that we were to be assigned to various odd jobs around this area for a little while, not to mention news of distortions occurring in H Corp. Finally leaving this place for real, huh? Shi-chun, we'll be heading out soon. Yeah, whatever. Get your butts out of here, please. Don't even think about looking back. Shi-chun exaggeratedly raised her hand to make us leave. Hey, if we ever get the chance, yeah, fat chance, I'm sure we'll both have more than our fill of each other for this lifetime. Besides, I'll be too busy to go anywhere for a while anyway. Well, then, if you ever need our help, our line's always open. Hey, I'm the family hierarch. Who needs whose help now? You truly weigh your authority well now. Speaking of which, you still have to stay here in Hangyuan, don't you? Did you find a place to stay? No, not yet. Why don't you just stay here for a little bit, instead of going out there again and risking getting scammed? Hangyuan's open, you know. Ooh, oh my. Well, like, get out, go away, and don't even think about coming back. Seems to me you're pretty sad to see us go, aren't you? Who said that? I'm just extending my generosity and giving you an opportunity to be more efficient. Remember your last attempt at finding a lodging here? The whole building melted away. Anyway, I'll let everyone know that your party is free to enter and leave Dagwon-yuan whenever you want, so use it if you want. After pelting us with that rapid-fire answer without giving us even a second to reply, she whipped around and left to join Wei. Whew, verily, to be an educator of another was a task most daunting. Did the lass even teach a proper class? Oh, don't tell me her class consisted of showing off those figurine collections and forcing the students to sit through another obscure lore summaries. Well, Heath, hope you didn't let Sinclair completely walk all over you. I sure hope Roger didn't get shown up in her own area of expertise. That's boy, smoky lass with the penchant for abbreviation. How'd your classes go? Did you manage to teach him anything? Or did you just abbreviate your way through the whole lesson? Man, speaking of which, don't think I've seen you smoking in a while. No smoking in front of kids. I remember you saying something about how it's totally against common sense to smoke in front of a kid. Speaking of which, you got some awesome tricks up your sleeve, Yoshi. I never thought you'd know how to do things like that. People learn when there's a need. Ever since the classes began, Yoshi started looking far off into the distance with an odd expression. Sometimes she'd hum a melody we hadn't heard of before. Bummer we didn't get to sit in on each other's classes. It would have been nice to see different sides of everyone. We'd have a lot of stuff to talk about once we head back, huh? I really wasn't sure where I could possibly get started. Well, since Shishan's given us the option, let's head back to Yihang-Yuan. You've seen them off with surprising stoicism, my lady. Haven't you been repeatedly eyeing their departure day on the calendar over and over with a look that could just as well be mournful? Gosh, that's because I couldn't wait to get those freeloaders off my back. Well, now that now that their company has departed, I suppose peace shall reign over Dagwon-Yuan for a while. My lady, I believe you are now prepared to stand alone against whatever trial that comes your way. Yeah, I know. I also know that I'll carry the lessons they've taught me in my heart for a long, long time. That's it. Whew, okay, well, I suppose, yeah, that'll just be it for now. Man, this took 4 hours and a half-ish? I guess. See you next time. Bye-bye. I'm just some kid who happens to be just good enough you seem to have dedicated is indeed with that is indeed in stark contrast